And welcome to Titan Esports 2020 Spring Invitational Finals of the Olympian League. Tonight we have the 1 seed Syndicate versus the 4 seed Lethal Elites. Pretty big matchup we've been looking forward to. I am Kirby's, and tonight we have a special guest caster, Lucifer Eyes. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing quite well. Yourself?
Hey, I'm doing well. Super excited for this game. This might not been the matchup that everyone would have predicted. A few weeks ago, maybe the beginning of the season, because I know Lethal Elites was high on everybody's list, but definitely might not have been the matchup that a lot of people predicted, and definitely not a matchup that. Let me keep it on myself. I did not predict this matchup, and Lethal Elites has proven me wrong so far. They've shown they can hang with the best, and they're here to play, what has widely been considered most of the season as the best team in the league. So we'll see how this 5-game series goes. We are in picking bans. The bans are done. Lethal Elites will be blue side for this game, and Syndicate is red side. Got some pretty staple picks off the board so far. Orange gone. Wukong is gone.
That Olaf is gone for both top jungle flex.
Yeah. Which we have seen, couple of these teams, or some of these teams play, some Olaf top. We've seen some Olaf jungle with some spicy Bork builds, actually. So,
yeah, I know, especially for Syndicate's team, they've flexed it between their jungle and their top laner quite a few times from what I've watched. So that's a pick that hits two of them pretty hard.
Right.
So they're locking in Yasuo first pick on Ellie, and their first game they took from Baka in the semifinals was actually based entirely around Yasuo. So I'm curious if they run back that comp, actually.
Yeah, they very well could.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the only thing they won't have is they won't have the Wukong top to set it up, but the Sejuani is still on the table, and there's still plenty of other picks that could set that up.
Yeah, and I was actually going to say, that's what I think made it work so well is because, the Yasuo ended up getting solo killed early, and he wasn't in the best state, but the Wukong got into a decent spot, which really enabled Yasuo to pop off in, like, those mid-game river skirmishes, which really set him online, and then they were both just so far ahead that their wombo was 100-0 on people, and there wasn't much of an option for Baka last week at that
For sure. Now, they do pick out the Malphite here, so they have that same level of wombo, but it's a little more targeted, and they don't get the second chance to reuse. But on Syndicate's side, their top laner grabbed Darius, and he used to be a Darius main from my knowings of the man, and it's only been praised throughout my org, but I have yet to see it. So I'm kind of excited to see him run that. Flan's got his Ashe running in here. And then let's see what Ellie gives us on their third pick, if they continue their knockups, or if they're going to have a transitional piece.
I think the Malphite pick's perfect, especially if he doesn't try to go any type of cheesy, AP, like Malphite, because just how tanky Malphite can get, especially versus AD comps, and even, a Darius. Obviously, the extra damage on the ult, which could 100-0 squishies, is nice, but I think against the Darius, and we've already seen Ashe on the board, you just stack that armor with your passive, and you just become incredibly tanky, and then you just let your Yasuo do all the damage with, that insane wombo setup.
For sure. And then that third pick is a Caitlyn.
Yeah.
That Malphite also has the potential to flex between top, support, or jungle even. I anticipate it's probably going to be top given Griff, but who knows with Lethal Elites nowadays.
And I've seen tons of Malphite mids as well. They typically go AP, but I've also seen it, armor stacking is like a AD mid assassin type of counter pick. So
true, but I think they're going to give Philly that Yasuo because he's more of their snowballing pop-off player.
Yeah, you never know. The Griff, they might do some wonky LE stuff and let Griff hard carry on Yasuo.
It's possible. That Leona got taken off the board on the side of Syndicate.
Yeah.
So they're anticipating this Malphite's top as well.
Yeah. Or, they might just really throw a wrench in the plane and throw Elspeth on Yasuo. We'll see.
True, Elspeth does hate to play normal ADCs. Let's see. Renekton. Interesting. So they're anticipating that there's the potential of the Darius flexing to mid lane with that ban, I assume.
Right.
Which, if I recall correctly, Latona has done once this season.
Pathetic.
And then they're going to take Trundle off the table, so he can't take the tank stats.
Which I really like that. Especially with Malphite, and they may still opt for a tankier jungle like a Sejuani or something like you said. So I do like that. That really makes me think though that they're pushing for the full armor stacking Malphite as well.
Either the full armor stacking Malphite, or it's probably that Sejuani in the jungle, just because Trundle runs that jungle if you have an aggressive jungler versus it, and Syndicate's jungler definitely qualifies for aggressive jungler.
Trust nothing but your strength.
Oh, and Syndicate takes a Sejuani.
Okay. So we're denying picks there. We denied them Caitlyn Morgana with that support pick, and then they denied the Sejuani picks that they hinted at with banning Trundle.
Absolutely.
If you're buying, I'm in.
August. Okay, so another option to enable this Yasuo.
For sure.
With Yasuo. And
the one thing
AP. Obviously they'll have some Malphite, but I doubt he builds too much AP, so I do like that.
Yeah. The one thing about the Gragas, though, is it's a little easier to shut down than that Sejuani would have been, because it doesn't just stack armor as well.
And presumably this is
support.
Be their support, unless there's some
unless it's Malphite support.
Some funky stuff going on.
I decide what the tide will bring.
So they're going to lock in the Nami. Now, little fun fact. Syndicate's ADC's least favorite support in the entire world is Nami, and he hates it in all of his games. So this is a fun little bit of trivia, having that Nami in the game. See? So let's see what Syndicate's going to grab for either their top or their mid, given that Darius can flex. So they're going to grab Mordekaiser.
Which I would imagine is going to Latona mid.
Probably. But at the same time, both of those picks are very viable to get swapped between the two. Ready to give them the ready on our end?
Yep.
Come on, I won't hurt you. I promise.
Think what I could offer. People feel they cannot understand.
I'm definitely interested to see. I'm pretty sure this Mordekaiser is going to go to Latona, and this Darius is going to go top, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm interested to see if they try to pull a little bit of cheese with it.
They might. I mean, it's very possible, but I have seen Latona on both of these champions. I do know he's a very good Mordekaiser, though.
Griff ended up with the Yasuo, and they did put the Mord up top.
Well, they've done this. Ellie likes to completely mess up their champs and then swap at the last second. So.
Oh, got it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Syndicate does the same.
So, Cribbs, before we get into all of it, let's reiterate, who do you think you have going the whole way?
As far as who wins the whole series?
Yep.
I chose Syndicate.
Okay.
I think I said 3-1. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Mostly just because I think LE had better drafting in their games that they won against Baca, and it's kind of hard to outdraft Syndicate just because of how they do drafts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't lose drafts very often, and you're not gonna get a freebie win just because of such a huge disparity in drafts.
For sure.
So I think Syndicate's just overall better team. I think Lethal Elites is a very good team on paper. I just don't think that they have what it takes to win a best-of-5 series. I think they will get a game out of the series. I don't think they'll get skunked. But like I said, it was just the fundamentals that Syndicate has, how good they are at, when they lose things on one side of the map, they're picking up things on the other, with how solid their drafts are. I just don't see, like I said, them Lethal Elites getting any freebies, and they're going to have to work really hard to just scrape together a win. But that's just my take. And looking at the drafts, I do like LE's ease of execution of their draft. Their press R comp, Nami, Ken, Praka, Yasuo, ult off her ult, Gragas as well, Malphite as well. They have many chances to enable this Yasuo, but what is Yasuo going to have? Is he going to be in a good spot laning against the Darius? So it is the Darius going mid, and it's the Yasuo going mid.
Yep.
Is he going to be in a good enough spot to actually, do the damage in these team fights? Especially against Latona, who was on Darius. And I would imagine that's probably a pretty rough matchup for Yasuo. So we'll see. I do like LE's draft. I do like their ease of execution. I'm a big fan of press R to win comps, but Syndicate's got some comfort picks on their side, and we'll see.
Yeah, looking at the two drafts, Lethal Elites is definitely a lot easier to execute, but Syndicate's has it set up to where if their execution doesn't go off perfectly at the beginning, their team fight after the fact looks a little bit better because Mordekaiser and Darius both can take over a team fight. Sejuani and Morgana make sure that nothing gets on the Ashe if the initial Malphite R doesn't work too much, or the Gragas R. So, and with Flan, who usually keeps pretty good spacing for himself, there's always the potential that that initial combo doesn't go off. But if they are managed to get onto the Ashe and get through towards that backline, they have a really good setup for LE to win those team fights too. My big take with the two teams thus far, though, is Syndicate definitely seems a lot more systematic with how they go down with things, whereas LE needs a big fight and to snowball Elite.
Right. Yeah, they're more chaotic in how they play the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell Syndicate's got a way they like to play the game, and obviously things change from game to game, even from minute to minute in a single game, but they've got a way that they like to play the game, whereas LE is more of a controlled chaos type of deal.
Yeah, LE's all about that snowball a person or snowball some chance event or pick, whereas Syndicate's systematically looking to set things up in a line and execute them.
Right.
So from that, I take it that you feel like LE won draft here?
Not necessarily. Like I said, I think I do overall like their comp. I don't know if I like it better. If you don't know which players are piloting these champs, I'm probably taking LE's draft. But knowing Latona has this Darius, knowing Thracian has Sejuani, knowing Flan has
Toast
Ashe.
has Sejuani.
Oh yeah, I don't know why. that was me wishing my boys were here. Sorry. Toast has Sejuani. This bot lane, this really, really good bot lane, that's Ashe and Morgana, which could be a very powerful lane with Ashe slow setting up, 15 million year
Morgana bindings.
Morganas. Yeah. It's just knowing that these players are piloting these champs and how good really everybody on Syndicate is at getting individual leads. I don't know, like I've said, like, yeah, you might be able to get, a wombo off, but you probably don't hit it on, you probably don't get Flan and Latona, or, you probably don't get it exactly how you want it. And then it even comes down to, if you all lost lane and you're down a collective 5 or 6K, like, even if you get that perfect wombo, like, you might just not have the damage to finish it off.
True.
I mean, always that's one thing that these press are to win comps. If you get down early and you're just getting stomped on, like, everything has to you've got to get the 5-man, Malphite R into the 5-man Gragas, and Yasuo has to get his all on all 5. Like, it has to be perfect to win team fights when you're down so much, and it's just so difficult to do at that point. And I really do think that individually, like, Syndicate's just stronger, like, pound for pound in each matchup. I think Syndicate's pretty much got every position down. And it's not huge advantages, but they are there, and I think Syndicate's just so good at pushing those advantages.
All right, and we're pausing here at 12, correct?
Correct. There goes our pause at 12 emote.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's a thing now.
The other thing to look at with these team fights, too, is that if Mord ults that Yasuo at the beginning of a team fight, they don't have their wombo.
Right.
Or Sejuani R, or Ashe R. There's lots of ways of taking them out of it. Alright, I am paused.
I am
Okay,
as well.
everyone good? Alright, gonna count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and hit play.
Alright.
And we are on to the rift. But yeah, I actually didn't think about that at all. Like, it's a huge, there's huge implications for team fights. Like, you see that, that Gragas or Malphite coming in off the flank, and within 1.5 seconds, like, your whole team's about to get smashed by a gigantic mountain.
Yeah, and it looks like Syndicate's actually going for an invade on top side here.
Yeah, so they're creeping up on the Yasuo.
Dark Binding does miss, so they are going to back it on out. But Sejuani and Darius are going to potentially walk through, but Gragas is just going to walk back to mid lane. Though it does look like Ellie's bot lane is going to get some deep vision and response for that on the blue buff.
Minions have spawned.
So we're going to have pretty standard stuff here. Looks like it's going to be bot side starts for both of these junglers.
Yep. So Gragas is a little late to his from just standing in mid, and then Sejuani was a little late from backing. Leaf Leaks does have vision on where Sejuani is, though, so the Gragas has the potential to go try for, like, an invade. And actually, they ended up swapping the solo laners around. Yasuo and Darius are fighting it out in top, and Mord and Malphite are in the mid lane.
Huh. So they both swap. Yeah, so we got the mid laner's top lane, the top laner's mid lane. Interesting. Yep. Huh.
It looks like that was more of a responsive swap on Syndicate side, because Ali's laners did show up first.
Yeah. And Syndicate's just not having any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since, Latona won MVP and Filber won hardest lane matchup, such a hype matchup that Latona's making sure it happens here.
Oh, just guaranteeing the title fight.
Yeah. I do think this, I kind of like this from LE, because typically, these Darius a lot of times will go like Flash Ghost for the super long top lane. And, he thought he was going mid lane and took the Ignite, which I think Ignite works overall a lot better as a Darius in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Just because top's such a long lane, and, obviously with Yasuo's mobility, he can gain some distance and run away safely.
So it looks like
that's a small advantage top lane.
Is setting up a gank up here top lane, and Gragas did a little bit more of a full clear here, so he's not quite done clearing and set up for a counter gank yet.
Right.
So it does look like they're going in.
Oh, but he's gonna
And,
get hit. Oh, he's gonna die.
that's going to be first blood going down inside of Syndicate.
Latona picking up the first blood, showing why he was Flat League's most valuable player.
Yep, and now it looks like, alright, Gragas did secure the crab. There is not going to be a fight over that in the top side.
Caitlyn's getting some huge poke bot lane on Syndicate. Production, are you here?
Yes.
Can you switch like the Yasuo and the Malphite and the Darius and the Mord
Yep.
like positions? Thank you.
Well.
Hmm.
Alright, should be fixed on screen. Let me know.
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
Well, it looks like they're swapping back to their initial lanes anyways. So,
Sorry, production.
And switching them back.
so now they're going back to that short lane. So that earlier discussion we had about summoner spells is about to just kind of even out on that. Because the other thing to look at with that was if you put Yasuo in that long lane, there's a lot more chance for him to get ganked.
Right. Which obviously showed itself, and that might have been something Ellie discussed, you know, after his death and went on and moved him back.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, you know, dead even in CS, but now Darius has a phage, whereas Yasuo only picked up a second Doran's blade, so...
Yeah, and then Dragon is about to spawn here on the Rift, and both junglers are looking at the bottom lane at the moment. It looks like Sejuani might be looking for a gank, but is actually just going to recall.
Gragas is coming up the lane now.
Working his way into them bushes.
Yeah.
And there's some big trading going on in both the middle and the top lane.
Yeah, this is almost the time when our solo laners will be hitting level 6, so... I expect, you know, Sejuani's already posturing for the top half of the map, and Gragas is still kind of hanging out bot lane. So, I mean, that could be huge. You know, Sejuani could be around for when these solo laners are 6, like Darius is 6 now, and Gragas is still sitting in a bush.
And there's a big engage going on bot side, but they are going to blow 2 flashes out and ignite on the side. Or there's going to be a flash blown on the side of Syndicate, a flash and an ignite blown on the side of Leaf Elites.
So that was huge. Morgana actually got her Black Shield down on Ashe, and in the animation of Gragas doing his E-Flash, Nami hit her bubble and popped the shield.
Yeah.
That was huge. Yasuo misses his tornado.
Gragas is walking up to mid, but Darius is just going to walk it out towards his jungler. And then top side, they stop trading. It kind of panned out. It's pushed in for that Malphite, and Sejuani is invading up there. Bottom side Syndicate still stuck under their tower, but they're just farming it out. Their farm difference is about 7, so it's pretty comparable. So it's about a full wave. Nothing huge at the moment.
Your top lane is Mordekaiser's got a pretty substantial lead.
They're looking to dive the Malphite right here up in the top lane.
Oh.
Now, since Sejuani, they blew a flash off the Malphite, and if this Sejuani hits dash, I think this Malphite goes down.
And I believe the Darius
Just
pulled the Yasuo pulled the Yasuo as he was getting knocked up to where the Yasuo could not ult. But yeah, that dive would have been a lot more successful if Sejuani did not whiff her Q at the beginning of that fight. So
True.
He burns his flash, which obviously is huge, but he does walk free at the moment.
The other thing you have to look at for that is because they went top and they spent so much time on that dive, that does give Leaf Elites the pressure for Dragon here, since Syndicate was still pushed in on the bottom side, and they just shoved that Darius in on the middle.
Yeah, so that's a free Drake over to Leaf Elites early.
Now, Mordekaiser is going to blow his TP up top, so that is going to be down for the next fight. And then big Gragas ult into Yasuo ult, taking Darius down in the mid lane. It does appear that Yasuo may have ignited in that as well. So that is another summoner timer. Next big fight should be around this Rift Herald up here. So let's see how those junglers prone for that. It looks like Sejuani is clearing her way up towards it, and Gragas is coming off a reset right now.
This is kind of, very reminiscent of game 1 last week where Filbert was on Yasuo and dies to the solo kill early, and then, get a little bit of jungler help, and then, like I said, they had a couple of river skirmishes, and, he ends up getting fed off a couple of, just needs a little help to get a couple of those items, and we know how hard Yasuo spikes once he's at, 1 or 2 items, and he took over the game, so let's see if that's their plan this game. I'd imagine it is to, start funneling more resources into this Yasuo as, turrets start coming down and they get into the mid game.
For sure. The other thing I would say is a little bit different than it was last week is that they're doing a lot more like map movements on the sides of LE around this Yasuo. Like they're actually like proning it to be the carry, whereas last week it seemed like they were kind of just floating between that and the top laner.
Right.
So like you've seen some early jungle attention, which they didn't really get the last time. So they're definitely funneling that strategy a little more focused this time around. And then Sejuani looks like she's set up to potentially gank bottom, but they're being pretty cautious about it. And then they do have jungle priority in the top side to where this Rift Herald could be something that just goes down to LE, but Syndicate has some pretty good vision, so they should be able to rotate if they try to take it.
Oh.
And then Sejuani ult into Ashar is going to catch Nami out, and then Nami's going to flash, but Sejuani isn't going to be able to take it home. They're going to get out. Sejuani might be in some trouble here with Caitlyn ult, and that actually got turned on the side of Leaf Elites.
And Leaf Elites turns down the gank. They stack the CC perfectly on the Nami, but she manages to get out, and Caitlyn punishes them for it.
And then they're going to do another Gragas into Yasuo R in the mid lane and take the Darius down.
The things are turning pretty bad quickly for Syndicate. I mean, the gold lead is even now, but that's 2 really big plays for Leaf Elites fighting in a row.
True. The one thing we have to look at, too, is that in the jungle matchups, we have Leaf Elite jungler is on what would probably be a little bit more comfortable for him than the Syndicate jungler, just because I know they both play more aggressive junglers, but Leaf Elites has pretty much kept Julian on things like this Gragas a lot during this year, and then Syndicate's jungler tries to play a lot more aggressive picks, so he might not be as comfortable on that Sejuani. And a big part of shutting down this teamfight later is that Sejuani hitting their abilities and then being able to like respond after and turn those fights. But they have a lot of disengage with Gragas and Nami.
Yeah, that's one thing I think LE has going for them is they get to kind of pick when and where these fights happen and whether they want to fight or don't want to fight.
Yeah, they have a lot of stopping that fight and turning back around because like they have 3 different R's to set up that Yasuo's ult. So if they blow Mordekaiser on the first attempt, they'd have 2 more tries.
Right.
So it does look like Syndicate's going to be getting this Rift Herald here. It's a matter of where they're going to use it and what lane they're going to try and snowball and then break laning phase from first. They could always just try and put some extra gold on one of their players too. It's most likely that they're going to try to open the map with it and actually force the tower.
Right. Docs are clearing out some vision here. Yeah, so this will destroy the turret.
Yep, they have to force a little bit more damage off of that tower right there, but they are going to take top tower, taking first turret of the game, and then Dragon is spawning, and it looks like Leaf Elites is trying to make a move for it. There's a fight going down in the mid lane, and that Darius might go down again. Nami ult is down, Black Shield and Flash go down on Darius. Ashar, they waste a lot to try and get that Darius out there, and he still goes down.
That's pretty much a solo kill from Yasuo. Like, he did almost all the damage, and yeah, some more people.
And then Gragas is looking to get that pick out on that Ashe.
She flashed. She does still hit it, but she walks away safely. And yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, I don't think there's ever going to be a time when Darius could kill Yasuo. Like, he could just straight up stat check him at this point, because you saw that. Like, the Darius actually engaged on the Yasuo. He just pretty much stood in place and stat checked him to death.
For sure, and like they wasted Ashral and Darius Flash trying to get him out there, so that was a lot of investment for what was, like you said, basically a solo kill.
So yeah, there's essentially not going to be a point in this game where Darius can ever put pressure on Yasuo, and he's on the back. He's going to be on the back foot for the entirety of the rest of the game.
Yeah, so Lethal Leads is also going to respond with bottom turret here. So what Syndicate really has to do at this point is try and get some like good rotations and picks and try to not let those Wombos get out. Darius can't really oppress Yasuo in lane like you're saying now, so he has to just kind of be like a backline menace later on. Menace to the backline, sorry.
And, this is kind of, if I'm Lethal Leads right now, like, yeah, the gold lead's pretty much identical. Like, it's hovering between 1 and 200. But, I'm happy with this because, like, it's, the biggest thing was you don't want to get too far behind against this comp. You want your Wombo to, if you hit it, you actually want to be able to clean up the fight. And right now, they'd be able to. Obviously, like we talked about, most of the gold on LE is on this Yasuo right now. Caitlyn does have quite a bit as well, but mostly on Yasuo, and that's pretty much who you wanted on. That's what this comp was built around, was enabling this Yasuo. And, I mean, Caitlyn's done pretty well for herself as well. She's sitting on IE in tier 2, while the Ashe has still got a garage sale of components here for Essence Remover.
Yeah, the other thing to look at is Darius is behind and still going for that Triforce, so he's going to be off from his spike for a little bit too, whereas Yasuo's got his PD, he's got his tier 2 boots, and he has that extra Doran's Blade from before. So he's going to have a big power spike lead versus either of the solo laners for Syndicate. Yeah,
I believe Darius is only a few hundred gold off Triforce, so we should have it let next back, but, obviously he is very far behind, and if any fights break out before he doesn't go back.
Actually, that last back he just did only got him the Sheen, and then he has his boots done, so that he is still away from that completion.
Oh, let's see now. Yeah, oh yeah, he's sitting on basically no gold. So yeah, he does have quite a bit.
Yeah, like you were saying, the big thing on LE's side is while they're ahead with all this, they're up 2 dragons, they have good gold leads. After those first 2 dragons, there's always that, this is the time in the game where those turnarounds have the potential of happening. If that Yasuo ever isn't there in a fight, there's a good chance for a full grouped up 5v5 that Syndicate can turn this around, because Darius and Mord aren't things that pop super quick, and if one of them goes down first, Ashe has time to free fire.
Yeah, and the Mord is, I mean, obviously doing very well for himself. He's up, 60 CS, he's got a gold, or a bounce.
They're going to get a pick on this Gragas here. They're going to use Ashe R for it and just take him down immediately.
Yeah. But yeah, this Mordekaiser, I mean, he's actually only 100 gold down on this Yasuo. He's got the second most gold in the game. He's got a bounty just off CS alone with a 0-0 stat line. He's got his Leandries for, that crazy passive burn. He's going to be scary too. I mean, he might not be able to ult. I don't know if he 1v1s a Yasuo in his ult quite, but I mean, taking something like the Caitlyn off the table, or any of these enablers off the table, or even the Yasuo off the table, and even if he dies in 1v1, his team can win that 4v4 because all the gold's in the Yasuo.
For sure, and Yasuo's going to pick up another solo kill on Latona there in the top lane. But like you were saying, there's another fight going down in the river. We're going to have Ashe and Caitlyn go down. They're going to trade each other. Morgana is going to blow her ult there. Nami and Gragas are looking to hunt the Morgana down at the end, though. And she hits the binding, but the Gragas is going to ult. They're going to break out the stopwatch, and Morgana's just down here.
Yeah. Like I said before, Darius just can't take these. He had no business taking that fight. It hasn't worked the past few times. I can assure you it's not going to work now. He does have his Triforce now, but at this point I don't think it matters what he gets. He's not going to win these stats yet.
Yeah, and then that river fight in response to does give Lethal League's full control of Rift Herald. So if Yasuo just rotates down, they burn this Rift Herald super quick, and they can even walk down and try to contest Dragon with the timers set up the way they are. But it does look like Syndicate is proning to try and burn this dragon before that response even comes out from Lethal Elites.
This is what I talked about before. Syndicate's so good at, always just making sure they get something on the map when something else is getting taken.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so they're going to trade Rift Herald and Dragon there. The scary part about that trade is, yes, you denied Lethal Elites from going to Soul Point, but they potentially have that Herald to snowball more gold right into that Yasuo's pocket. And that Malphite does R away after getting Sejuani R, canceling Mordekaiser R on him there.
He is going to get dove, though. He did after he already did the BM taunt.
They look like they're not going for the dive, actually, and Lethal Elites are going to 4-man push middle with Rift Herald and put a lot more gold down, and here comes the dive.
No, he did the BM dance, fam. They were 100% going for that dive.
Yeah. I mean, for a second there, it looked like you could have just walked out.
Yeah.
And then Lethal Elites has taken 2 towers and is going to keep pushing in the mid lane, unopposed from this. And they might try to go for inhib here, but they're just going to walk away as to not give Syndicate gold to funnel back into their pockets with the super minions. So that's 1 turret for 3 and a pick on, that's 1 turret and a pick for 3 on the side of Lethal Elites.
Yeah, it looked like the Malphite R'd away, and he did the BM, and they took it personally, and they forced that dive and gave up so much of the mid-way for it.
For sure, but I don't think they're going to look at that as a worthwhile trade in the end.
I can't imagine they will.
Now, if we were talking about the other team, Lethal Elites might have taken it as a worthwhile trade just for BM. So they're going to start putting red buffs on this Ashe here. And it looks like the 2 teams are making dances around Baron. The one thing you have to look at with this, though, is we have Darius responding to the Malphite. Malphite has TP. Darius does not. He is running that Ignite, and he is already behind, too. So if there is a fight around this Baron, Darius is going to be late.
Right, so, even after all this crazy back and forth, it's really only at a 1k gold lead for 21 minutes, which, isn't gigantic. It's definitely not uncomebackable, so Syndicate's kind of in an awful spot, and like I said, most of this gold is on this Yasuo.
Yeah, so that's pretty scary. They've got gold on Yasuo and Caitlyn, which, while it's where they want it to be, if either of them gets picked out, that's a large chunk of Ellie's damage going down.
Right.
That is going to be Astral onto Caitlyn, and then they're going to put the Sejuani ult on, and they're really just going to walk away from it and get nothing out of it. Both TPs are going to come down here from Malphite and Mordekaiser. But this is what that's a 3-man Malphite R. And then what it's going to look at is the Darius was late from that teleport, but Syndicate is turning this 5-man around because after that initial burst, and it's going to go down inside of Lethal Elites. Morgana's got Hourglass, but it's only going to prolong the inevitable. Yeah, with their full team late to the fight there, they really kind of just get ran through because part of what gets them that good team fight is having that Darius there to be a menace to that backline. Without that, that backline's going to free fire while everybody else tries to keep the Yasuo out.
Well, the Yasuo did find his way in. He picks up a triple kill. He's 7-1. I mean, he's sitting already on his 2-item spike, and he's got almost 3k gold in his pocket when he goes back. Yeah. Yeah, his Malphite's getting tanky.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for the side of Syndicate on that. They're gonna have to make some big comeback on that. Our gold lead from right before that fight, when we just stated that it was 1k, is now at a 3k gold lead.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah, and Ash does look like it's going for the Blade of the Rune King here. And then it looks like Darius is going to be going for, I'm going to say the wrong word here, Randwind? Rabbit. Yeah, Randwind.
Randwind.
Yep, okay. I confuse them often. Just their names.
And, that's, the way this comp is set up, if you can't, that Malphite gets, 2 or 3, 4, or 5 people in his ult, and the asshole's not CC locked or mortal, they just win the fight.
Yeah, especially when they don't have the numbers advantage there. They're gonna get the binding that forces out the Malphite R, but it doesn't matter. It looks like he's gonna go down here, but Leaf Elites picks up Dragon and puts them on Soul Point just for taking Malphite. They keep trading just the top laner for so much off this map.
Right.
And then Sidwani is looking to get out there. Are going to blow Nami ult off there? So the Syndicate's going to have to get a really good team fight to try to get back into this, really. And they are looking like they're going to have 3 Randuins on their tankier champion. So there's the potential in a full 5v5 that they might be able to pull something out here, but it's really going to come down to, they have to execute it perfectly.
Right.
That are going to pick on that Yasuo, but he hasn't really been making solo adventures.
Well, there's really no need to.
I wouldn't. And as I say that... Okay.
I mean, he's so far ahead, they're obviously funneling all the resources into him. And, he's just enabled so much by the other members of his team.
Yeah, the other thing to look at, too, though, is, while we have all this focus on this Yasuo, this Caitlyn's really big. She can just free fire several of their members down at this point, too, with her range and whatnot. And Ashar keeps getting used when we have these picks. So it is up right now, but if it gets used for another pick right before a team fight, that's a good point of engage they won't have.
And Caitlin's in a 75% crit chance. Like you said, she's got her second Zeal. She's got Static Shiv, IE. She's in a really good spot as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take a really good play from the side of Syndicate for them to come back from this. It is Leaf Elite's game to lose. And they are going to start Baron up here. And same story as that mid lane fight. We have that Darius in the bottom lane with that teleport. And he will be late if they even try to respond at all. They do look like they're proning to respond to it, though. And Latona is walking through mid, trying to get there in time before this even goes down. And they secure it. Toast goes in. Then he has to stopwatch, but it looks like he's just gonna go down. Yasuo is in their backline looking to take them down, and they are burning through this Mordekaiser. He gets the tornado through on the back, the Darius and the Morgana there, and they're just gonna run Syndicate down. They might just force an end here.
Yeah. Another triple kill picked up by this Yasuo.
I don't imagine that Yasuo gets to see a game 2. And Dogster is going to survive, but I don't think he can stop them.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the GG here.
And if this beckons just like last week did, where Leaf Elite upsets the first game and then they come through for a full 5 series, we're in for a long night.
Yeah, and Filbert ended up 10-1-3, 244 CS at 27 minutes, which is what, high 8 to low 9 CS per minute. Let's check out the damage done here. Yeah, he led the entire game with damage, and that's just another classic case of the Filbert Yasuo pop off, where
for sure,
he always likes to go down to a solo kill early and then get some help, and then he's just a 1v9 machine after that.
The other thing is that Caitlyn did the second most in the game too, so taking that Yasuo out of the equation, their ADC was still just laying down damage.
Oh well, yeah. Well, when your whole top side of the map are melee divers and they're all in the back line, Syndicate's so focused on them. Caitlin's pretty much untouched in the back line on these fights, just hammering out insane crits, and nobody's really focused on them because they're worried about the Malphite, Gragas, and Yasuo that are in the back line. So I think they played that comp really well. Like I said, they didn't get too far behind early or behind at all, really. I think they were down a little bit pre-10, but they stuck in there and they funneled the resources into their carries appropriately. They team fought appropriately. They maintained objective control, and like there was a couple situations where like Malphite would get caught out, but they just took so much on the other ends of the map. Like they were good at getting rift when Syndicate was getting dragon, and they just really kind of dominated once the towers started to fall and they got into the mid game.
Yeah, and the big thing there is I feel like Syndicate had to force some kind of a pick or a play a little harder, but they just sat back and were letting them do it.
All right. But that'll do it for game 1. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes for game 2 of Syndicate and Lethal Elites. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Titan Esports Olympian League Finals, where we won't be seeing Yasuo played by Filbert the Wise. I'm Kirby's. I still have Lucifer Eyes here with me for game 2. How you doing? How you feeling, Lucifer?
I'm feeling good. I'm hoping to see a game that's a little closer than that Yasuo rundown we saw the last one.
Well, Yasuo will not be present in this, so anything can happen.
That's good news, but let's see if they run that Akali they ran the last time Yasuo got banned in the best of 5 we saw just last week.
Who knows? Wukong is off the table, as well as Yasuo and Cassiopeia, very strong champions. And Lethal Elite's going to take off Olaf, Syndra, and Ornn, which I believe were their exact bans from game 1.
Mm-hmm. And they've locked in the Jarvan on side of Syndicate.
Dead man walking.
Graves first pick. I like it.
So while I like the Graves, I don't know if you've seen Julian's match history.
I have not.
But recently the man touched Gold 1 again, and now worked his way back up to Plat 4, and he's been playing Graves the whole time throughout that.
Wasn't he like Diamond 4?
Like 3 weeks ago, yes.
Yikes. You hate to see it.
Yeah. But the man has been playing a lot of Graves. I don't necessarily agree with the build, but I do want to see what all this work he's put in the Graves brings out. And they are going to have the Xayah to combat with it.
What's he run on Graves? I'm a full lethality Graves player, by the way.
So he goes Warriors, then instead of Death Stance second, which is what you should be getting, that or Umbral second, he goes right into Sanguine Blade, which, why?
Hell yeah. My dude.
But like,
I'm a full lethality Graves player.
I mean, lethality's fine, but I don't think Sanguine's the answer to rush first.
No, everybody knows it's Ghostblade first. Come on, rookie mistake. MF Nautilus bot lane coming out of Syndicate. And I do love the Misfortune paired up with the Jarvan. Another maybe they're trying their hand at the spicy press R comp.
Yep, going back to tried and true things. And then they're gonna have a Xayah Leona as response in the bot lane.
Which is also very strong. It's strong level 2 as well.
And the Xayah can just press R and get the evasion out for if that Jarvan box comes down, and the Misfortune starts to ult.
So they take Orianna off the table, presumably to break up any more of those nutty. Because Jarvan MF is my favorite R comp. Like I absolutely, because I'm a really big Orianna mid player. Pretty much an Orianna Cassiopeia 2 trick. And every time I see like a Jarvan and then, bonus points for a Malphite top, it's just, it's your wet dream is Orianna. And then throw a Misfortune, behind you. And that's just one of the best Pretar comps in my opinion. But Orianna taking off the table, that a colleague you were talking about that Filbert played instead of Yasuo is also gone.
Yep.
So they're really, really targeting Filbert, hoping to drag him down his champ pool and maybe not put him on something that can absolutely 1v9.
Inferior constructs.
Victor gone as well. Another 1v9 kind of just like game pop-off monster, which also combos pretty well with a Jarvan ult and Misfortune layering.
Yeah, and if you didn't see earlier this weekend, general chat, the coach for Syndicate did say he's a Victor one trick now, so maybe sending a message.
You wish the world you know to end.
And Cho'Gath picked up here.
Okay. Now, the last time we saw Griff on Cho'Gath, he kind of popped off on it.
Yeah, he did. He was gigantic. Like, he had, 10 stacks, and, 8 of them were champion, and only 2 came off of
Minions.
which, anytime I play Cho, I just, perma ult the second I get it to get those 6 stacks, because I'm not getting too many stacks off champions, because I'm, 0-8 at that point.
Yeah, and then we have a spicy pick here in the top lane.
The Susan comes out, which was predicted earlier in Twitch chat, actually. Dog champ.
Now, not to show any bias in the fact that I play for Syndicate, but I've seen this Nasus, and it is a force to be reckoned with. To quote the man, I'm going to have 20% CDR at 12 minutes.
We'll see.
And then they're going to lock Corki down from the mid lane for Latona. Are they going to do Corgi Azir meta?
Well, please, God, no.
Our in-game chat is asking them to do it.
Please, no. Don't do it. Please, no, Azir. Don't do it.
They're thinking about it.
Can you imagine a Nasus Cho'Gath lane and a freaking Corki Azir lane? Thank God.
It's going to be Aurelia.
Thank God.
Actually, looking back on last week, I think the Aurelia might have popped off more than the Akali did.
Oh, yeah. There was a 3, that was in the hype video, the 3v1 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So that Malphite ban over the Aurelia ban is pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you feel about these two teams' drafts right now?
I don't know. I really liked what Syndicate was doing in the first half, and then they throw in the Nasus and the Corki. Apparently, this Nasus is pretty renowned because you mentioned it and Twitch chat had mentioned it. But I don't know. I mean, Corki obviously scales pretty well with that mixed damage. He's really going to be bringing their only AP. And I don't know. I really, like I said, I liked what they were doing at first, but then they kind of got banned out off of a Victor and an Orianna.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Leaf Elite's just kind of all over the place. Their bot lane is, pretty strong throughout the game. They had a decent level 2, and then, obviously they scale well. Leona and Cho'Gath with their engage is gonna be nice, and then hopefully the Aurelia gets fed off this mid lane and can do that backline access. And then I'm not sure about this jungle matchup with you talking about the particular build for Graves, especially into a Jarvan. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know.
So-
These drafts are kind of all over the place.
True. In the jungle matchup, anyways, the Jarvan is actually one of the things that you pick into Graves because it gives you some kind of pressure to like go onto him early before he really starts to scale. Especially if the Jarvan goes tankier, it gets pretty hard for the Graves before he gets online to fight him. It feels like Leaf Elites wants to scale a little bit harder than Syndicate does, just because through the jungle bot lane combo that Syndicate has, they've got that early pressure, whereas Leaf Elite's jungler wants to scale, their mid wants to scale, their top wants to scale. Their bot lane's really the only thing that wants to do something before level 6.
Right. And I really think, they're going to put a lot of pressure to getting this Aurelia ahead early on this Corki. Aurelia, when she gets ahead, can get pretty obnoxious. So I really think that they're going to put a lot of pressure. Julian's going to try to pressure this mid lane, keep this Corki behind, and get this Aurelia up and let her snowball out of control. While I think Syndicate is just going to let Nasus do his thing up top, and maybe focus on either counter ganking mid and protecting Latone, let him scale, or trying to get the Misfortune and Nautilus ahead and let them snowball and keeping the Xayah down. But I think top half of the map is going to be, top lane will be probably a farm snooze fest, while mid lane's probably going to see a lot of just back and forth and ganks and counter ganks. Because like I said, they're really just going to want to snowball. The Corkies just want to prevent that from happening and get to that late game crazy DPS Corki.
Yeah, the thing about mid though is unless unless Leona roams up or the Aurelia hits her stun, that Corki Valkyrie should get him out of any of the ganks from Graves.
Right. So yeah, Jarvan may want to just look to this Misfortune, and when she gets ahead early, she could be pretty obnoxious and take over the game as well. So we'll see what happens here.
For sure. The only other thing is that FarmFest top lane, given the two players we have up there, they both like to constantly fight. So we may just see some weird skirmishes.
Yeah, early it'll be more of a slap fest, but we'll see.
True.
I don't think there'll be any type of solo kill or pressure until both the top laners hit level 6, and then there's probably a good chance that they'll both want to fight and try to get that first solo kill or jungle intervention or whatever. But I don't think we'll see much action up there until 6.
For sure. That is unless they just get some like really bad trades off in the beginning towards one side.
Right. One second.
And the copy pastas have found their way into chat. And we're paused here at 12. I do not know if Kirby is back yet.
I'm also at 12.
Okay, great.
Alrighty, and we are on the Rift here.
We're getting all them Leaf Elites mastery spams.
Ooh. You played that champion a lot. Ooh.
Looks like Sins got their 5-point going, but Leaf Elites might be looking to catch an invade.
Oh, look at the little tiny Cho'Gath stomping around. So cute at level 1. Thumbs up for the stream.
Oh, game overs and mastery emotes for the stream.
Thank you, Lethal Elites.
Quality content from the side of Leaf Elites.
Yeah.
All right, and then it looks like Leaf Elites Juggler is going to start red on the top side of the map. Wow.
Jungler's going to start red side here.
So that should signify that Graves is going to potentially path down for bot, while Jarvan's going to look to pressure top side of the map. Graves is actually looking to go for an invade on this, while Jarvan's doing a little bit more of a full clear. So he might catch Graves out at his blue buffs. It depends on if he tries to do these wolves first. And it looks like both junglers have met at the Syndicate's blue buff.
Cho'Gath getting some decent damage down on this Nasus.
And Graves will walk away with Syndicate's blue buff because the laners can't rotate for it.
Oh, he's gonna come top early.
Hmm?
Oh, Nasus sniffs it out with his dog nose. See what I did there? Pretty clever.
And then it looks like Jarvan's just going to be content to clear his jungle rather than look to respond by taking Graves as a blue.
Interesting. Nasus is not having fun in these trades.
No, but that's to be expected in like the really early trades on this. Once you get some stacks on them, that changes a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, level 6, I'm honestly expecting a solo kill or even a gank. That I expect a dead top laner at level 6.
Mm-hmm.
Anything less is a utter disappointment.
Truly, especially considering the players we have up there.
Right.
Bloodthirsty. And as anticipated, it's a little bit of a farm fest aside from that one shenanigans in the jungle. Top lane looks like they might be trying to brawl it out right here. Cho'Gath does miss his Q, and Nasus just gets to walk it out.
He took a lot of damage for it, though. This can sustain pretty good. He's still got one more charge of his corrupting potion left, and he's already back up to 3/4 HP still.
Yep, and then Graves is taking the enemy Raptors while Jarvan's prone for bottom side at the moment. Graves has not backed yet. Well, Jarvan has backed, and he's gotten his Hunter's Talisman on this. They're gonna look on lane gank.
Rito for alcoves this season. Otherwise, this would not be possible.
I am not a fan of alcoves. Graves is looking to make his way down for the bottom on this as well, with Dragon having just spawned.
Oh, and they do engage. Graves is there, just a little late. A TP is coming out from the Cho'Gath, and Jarvan's going to die for it.
And with that, Leaf Lead should have Cryo and Dragon.
Yeah, and they spent all that time with Jarvan hanging out in the bush, and Leaf Elite turns it, ends up killing him. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, so this Cho'Gath
Misfortune might be.
Oh.
Ooh. And they're gonna get Cho'Gath for that, actually.
Maybe he thought he was level 6, which is why he flashed. He had to have known his auto on top of the Misfortune who flashed wasn't gonna finish. Maybe he thought he was 6. I don't know. But yep, he was probably rooted under turret.
I believe he had one more charge of his E still left, so I think he was hoping that the empowered auto damage might have gotten him.
Maybe, but Nasus is just smacking away, smacking at the tower plates. That's not great.
And Nasus is already up here with 84 stacks. So he's approaching 100 already at 6 minutes. So
Matt, what time are you at, like, right now? I'm at 36, 37,
yeah,
38. Yeah, we're like 5 seconds ahead of you. I guess I'm just gonna pause for like 4.
okay.
I don't know how that happened.
Jarvan is prone for another gank, it looks like. But Graves is in the quad.
Yeah, we're both like 5 seconds ahead of you, man. Sorry, stream, for spoiling deaths. Oh. It wouldn't be TES Esports. Yep.
7-11, 7-12, 7-13.
We're good. Oh.
And they're all inning mid. Aurelia's gonna
try
break
to
open.
flash the R, but still got hit with it. That was kind of a wonky looking hip hop. I don't know what happened there, but Aurelia's gonna get the solo kill, and Corky's immediately gonna die. Which is, you know, what we talked about. It's in the Aurelia 1, and she is level 6. She has a solo kill. She's up 20 CS and counting. Corky does TP back to try not to lose too much CS, but, you know, this is huge for the Aurelia. She's going to get her first back off, and, you know, she's going to have a decent advantage, gold advantage over this Corky so far. We're setting up a dive for top lane. Graves is not level 6, but he is going to die very quickly.
Yeah, and like
the Cho'Gath's going to dive because of the...
ooh.
You hate to see.
You do. And the big thing is Graves is kind of running the jungle right now. Like that early thing where Jarvan just kind of watched him take his blue buff from him rather than trying to respond or fight. Like he doesn't have any pressure on top of that extra death he had in the bot lane.
Right.
What I really want to see from Leaf Elites right now, that while they have Cryo in all of their lanes, Graves has free time to either go for go for Dragon, go for Herald. There's not really any way they can test them, and he can just solo either one of those. And we're back here on the top side. Nasus is going to take down the Cho'Gath on that after having blown ult. There is a fight going down bottom as well that lost Nautilus for the side of Syndicate, and Graves took down Nasus during all that too. Jarvan is attempting to solo Dragon with this, and Leona has ulted Misfortune under tower.
And she is going to die.
So after all that, that's 1 kill for the side of Syndicate, whereas that is 3 kills for the side of Leaf Leads, but Syndicate did manage to pick up Dragon during all that. I believe Leaf Leads also took a tower plating in the bot lane. And then if we look at everybody's items, the Gnosis is over here on Sheen and Kindle Gem, but he looks like he's prone to still go towards that Phage with the rest of his items, whereas Cho'Gath is going towards that GLP.
But is he going to get that extra CDR by 12 minutes like promised? Doubtful. We'll see. He has the...
Where's he at right now? He's at 30% at 10 minutes.
Wow, he did it.
And Perfect did correct me in Twitch chat that it was about 30% CDR at 10 minutes. I was wrong.
Well, he's got it.
So this
is going to go down. Wither's such a fun mechanic. Oh god, Nasus hurts.
Nasus is going to run down this Cho'Gath. Oh, he's going to take Blast Cone, and he is going to get out.
What? He didn't hit the blast. What? Did he misclick the blast cone? Hello?
You hate to see it.
He misclicks, it doesn't hit it, and Nasus catches up? Hello?
So you're going to trade your top laner for their jungler in that.
Oh, Lord.
So the big thing I still want to see, Graves is still up by a significant margin on this Jarvan, and the Jarvan's gone for more objective control than the Graves has, when the Graves has an easier time soloing them.
Wither's such just a fun, interactive ability. I love that mechanic.
Yo, it's better than Caitlyn now.
Oh, I love Wither.
Let's check in on Nasus' stacks. Nasus is in. Graves is looking to loop around, but Nasus might just run down Cho'Gath first.
He might just 2v1.
Jarvan is looking to loop up, though.
Jesus. His Q's already doing nuts damage.
He's at 234 right now at 12 minutes with his 30% CDR. They are looking to do Rift Herald right now.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is on par with like where you want to be. I'm pretty sure most like good Nasus want to be around like 300 to 15 minutes. So,
okay,
I'm pretty sure that's like the high end of like, you know, you're comfortable with 300 around 15. I think I'm not much of a Nasus player, but
gotcha. I do not know the spreadsheets on that myself either.
I'm gonna pretend like I know what I'm talking about. On Twitch chat thinks I'm a good caster.
So it does look like Syndicate saw Graves when he was walking down for this potential dive, and they are going to walk him off. Mid looks like they're having a fight down there. Aurelia is going to blow ult again and just run the Corki down.
Nasus is 2 levels up on this show at this point.
Yeah, but they're ignoring him completely and just hitting the tower. In response to that shove top, it does look like Graves is going to try and force something down here bottom. MF does get caught out with that Leona ult and does have to burn flash for it, but still goes down.
And they're going to kill both of them. And they're going to get, they got 1 play before the time right now, but they will.
They're going to force first tower off of it. Top didn't actually get to force first tower because Cho'Gath cleared too much and they didn't go for the dive initially. This puts a large amount of prio for Leaf Elites on Dragon from that too, opening up bot side of the map for them. Cho'Gath doesn't have TP and Corgi just blew his TP. So for Syndicate to pressure that Dragon, they might need Nasus to come down.
So we're sitting at a 5K gold lead, right around 15 minutes. Borelli's going to get caught out. She does get her backup.
She was going to blow a flash there, but Jarvan's going to go.
They're going to immediately turn it, take 2 of them down. The rest are going to run away with their lives. And Ellie is very, very far ahead. They're going to pick up this Drake, make it 1-1. But yeah, Ellie's got a 6K gold lead at 15, and they've got bounties on 4 of their champs, and everywhere but top lane, they are just hard winning at the moment. Relly's got a 40 CS gold lead, as well as 2-0-3 stat line. Zaya's got a 20 CS lead, 3-0-4. I mean, they're just hard winning everywhere but top, which Naxus could become a problem. But with the rest of Ellie so far ahead, it's going to be difficult for him to get much done. But we'll see.
Yeah, and this kind of looks back on what we were talking about before all these games started. Syndicate tries to play a very systematic game here, but if you give the Leaf Elites a lead, they snowball it very well. Every single character on the side of Leaf Elites has a completed item and has started towards another one, whereas only Nasus and Jarvan have an item completed on the side of Syndicate. So Nasus is hitting those marks we were talking about with about 372 stacks here. And they are going to blow Leona ult for Jarvan Flash, trying to catch him out there. So Cho'Gath is not being responded to, and he's just kind of like free hitting the tower down in bot lane while they are all clumped up top. So Corgi does manage to save that bot tower from them, but nothing really came of that top lane where we had 8 players just kind of standing there.
So it looks like Rift Herald is going to be what next big objective coming up is. And it looks like Ellie does have vision control over it, but the Jarvan is topside.
Yeah, both TPs are up on the top laners down here in the bottom lane as well for that objective. So they should be able to have all 5 people present for it, even though Leaf Elites does hold prio if Syndicate looks to respond. And it looks like Leaf Elites is just going to take the Herald unabated, and they're not even going to be able to force top tower on the side of Syndicate. So that's another tower down in favor of Leaf Elite. So that's 4 towers to 0 at the moment. We're approaching the 20-minute mark here.
Sorry, I was muted. It is closing in on almost a 10k gold lead here at 20 minutes, right around 8.
Yeah, and then the other thing to think about is with this dragon spawning, they still have Herald to blow for Leaf Elite, so they can always just send Herald down a lane and threaten priority in it while they do dragon.
I'd like to point out that Julian did go Warrior first, but Black Cleaver second. Or you were talking crap about his Grave build and decided to pop off this game.
For sure, and I agree much more with this.
So they get Drake for free. They do have Rift Herald on Xayah right now. Let's see where they use it. Baron is up.
It's looking like they're going to pressure with Cho'Gath bottom, and then they might try and 3 to 4 man this mid lane for it.
And Cho'Gath immediately flashing away from the phase rush. Withered Nasus. Such a fun mechanic Wither is.
And they're doing this dance around mid lane, and it's just going to consist of, can they cut that MF and Jarvan off from joining before Rift Herald gets to that tower? And the answer is looking like yes. So they are going to get 1 tower out of that Rift Herald, but it will not make a second charge because Nasus has walked up to help respond to that. So they are just full teams sitting here dancing around the mid lane at the moment. Top lane is pushing in favor of Syndicate at this time, as is bottom. I'm a liar. Bot lane pushing in favor of Ellie.
Ellie's just going to burn this Baron down. I don't even know if Jarvan can get here in time to even look for us still. I don't believe he will.
The other thing to think about is Graves is 2 levels up on this Jarvan, so he has a bigger smite, even if Jarvan were to go for it.
Well, they've got Cho'Gath R as well. It's basically impossible to steal if they time it right. What's that, like 1,000 true damage to Baron or something?
I think it's like 980.
Yeah,
where he's at right now.
Plus the, extra smite damage out of Graves over the Jarvan. It's pretty impossible to steal.
Yep, and we do have a pause. It looks like the Ellie's top laner is disconnected or having some technical difficulties. So with this pause, with things standing at how they are, do you see a way for Syndicate to crawl back into this from this 9k gold deficit?
This gets asked a lot in these types of, situations. And really, when you're down this much gold, you can't really, it's very difficult to, force your way back in. You pretty much have to rely on, your opponent's mistakes. You have to hope that, Aurelia is, caught out, pushing too far, she's overextended top lane and you punished it. You have to really look for them being overextended or caught out of position and punish them. Obviously, you're shoved back in all 3 lanes. They're sieging and taking objectives. You got to get a line of vision out there in your jungle, because it's not even safe to go into your jungle if you're Syndicate. But you got to get that vision line out there and look for these pick scenarios and immediately capitalize on them and just slowly, get that, Aurelia bounty maybe, and then maybe a couple minutes later get that Graves bounty, and you have to capitalize off Ellie's mistakes and just don't get over ambitious. Don't try to, even if you get the pick, don't try to, continue on. Like, take what you can safely get, take that little bit of gold jump, cut that deficit down a little, and then look forward again until you get into a range where you feel like you can actually force stuff. But when you're down this much gold, like, there's not much you can just brute force because you're just going to die. Like, even in 5v4s, like, you're probably just going to die.
For sure. And they do have that line of vision out, but they are just kind of playing scared around it. Rightfully so, though, because if you look at the item advantages and the fact that only one member of Lethal Elites has even died this whole game, they're pretty demanding in this lead.
Right. So it'll be a rough one for Syndicate. It's possible. We saw crazier stuff in the Gold League semifinals in the Baka NFG game. There was a 11 or 12K gold lead thrown.
It was 11.
So, yeah. We'll see. Never say never, right?
True. Though I will say there is not Nazir to just randomly hit from the sidelines in this game to come back from.
Right.
We do have a Nasus, though.
Yeah. I just don't think Nasus can, obviously his dog took his family's money and went to get cigarettes. You hate to see it. I don't even remember what I was going to say because it's funny.
I imagine it was something along the lines of, you don't think Nasus could win a team fight?
Yeah, Nasus can obviously, when he's ahead 1v3 and do some crazy stuff, but, if you're looking at these items on these, the Zai and the Sleep, like, they have the tools to stop a Nasus in his tracks and just either kite him out or brute force him.
True. We are about halfway through the allotted 10 minutes of a pause, though, so that would be a way for Lethal Elites to throw this game.
Whoa.
So I would like to take this time to point out that Elspeth is looking a lot more aggressive than Flan, thus contesting the point of them being the same person here, though.
Zai's got a 2-level lead. There's just massive level leads. Like,
yeah, support's at 1 level, 2 on ADC, 1 from mid, 2 from jungle, and then it's even in the top, even with the lead that it looks like that Nasus should have over him.
He actually did have what was it, 2 or 3 level lead on him, but it looks like Cho'Gath's just been farming back up, and he's only down 8 CS to him at this point.
Yeah, they let the Cho'Gath just kind of free farm in the bot lane without a response, and then Nasus has been the only force on the map on the side of Syndicate, so he's having to respond to almost every situation.
Yeah.
This would be such a tragic way for Lethal Elites to throw this 9k gold lead, though.
You'd hate to see it.
Yeah, as Twitch chat said, Griff was just upset that he was the only one with deaths, and he decided he didn't want to be here anymore, I guess.
I'm sure that's what happened.
The One Piece phone game took his attention, it was gone. Elite Elites has given the R, so they will.
Hopefully they got their money back from the dog.
Hopefully they did get their money back from the dog. Griff wants to play the game. And we will be getting back into it here in just a moment.
And we're in.
And Lethal Elites is doing a 1-3-1 right now, while Syndicate is trying to force a 5-man response, but with this Glacial Cho'Gath, it's really hard for them to try to get an engage off. Graves is pressuring that top tower heavy during this, though.
Yeah, Glacial Augment users, once they get their GLP and their Spooky Ghost, they're just so obnoxious.
Yeah, they can.
So, ugh, makes me sick.
So which one do you like more, Wither or Glacial Augment?
I don't know. I just hate Wither. I'd rather the Glacial Augment. Like,
Okay.
at least, you know, Glacial Augment, like, yeah, they have it early game, but it's really not powerful till they get those two items. Wither's just cancer all game long.
Fair, fair. And even with all the pressure in the side lanes and the Nasus having to respond to the Aurelia, they are going to siege mid and top still.
Yeah, especially because, you know, he's phase rush right now, so he withers you and he gets his, you know, an auto and then a Q auto or whatever, and then he's a million miles an hour. You saw he dodged Aurelia's E like it was nothing.
True, true.
Ugh. And they buffed phase rush for melee users, so.
Yep. The big question comes down to, can this Nasus, he can 1v1 the Aurelia, but can he snowball the rest of the map? He is their hope, he is their possible saving glory.
And he 1v1s anybody on their team. The problem is he, you know, doesn't win these team fights, especially with the Leona locking him down and, you know, the ability for Xayah to kite and Graves for kite him out. Like, you know, I don't actually agree with the 1v1 there, like, or 1-3-1 there. I think you put, you know, do like the 1-4 and have Aurelia join the team. Because Graves, you know, can kind of kite out the Navs. It's like you don't expect him to 1v1, just hold him in that lane. You know, with Aurelia there, you had so much more power for the 4v4 if they do try to engage.
For sure. I
on there because he could just run down, you know, a melee user like Aurelia.
Yeah, I think the initial 1v1 when they got damage off the mid lane was good. I think that's when they just rotate top and commit to that tower with the Graves, and then they back so they have prio on this dragon, because right now Syndicate got first move on that dragon.
Right.
Like what you were saying, them over committing to it how they did, they put Aurelia in a really bad state there, and they handed over an objective that by no means they needed to.
Absolutely.
This Cho'Gath is pushed up alone in the bot lane again, but Nasus is nowhere around. He is the only thing that will be contesting him at this current time. So we're still maintaining that 9k gold deficit. We do have both teams with 2 dragons up, so neither one on soul point right now. Syndicate only has taken 1 tower down versus the 6 towers down that Lethal Elites has taken. So it looks like they are going to run a 1-4, but they are going to put Aurelia on her own this time. She is going to be matched again by this Nasus. They're doing the dance, but Aurelia might be caught out. She's just going to stun the backline and try to walk it out.
Filbert's going to get engaged on, and he's going to die.
Yep. So they're trading Aurelia for a tower and possibly the inhibitor.
No, they're going to back off.
I don't know that I agree with that back off there. We know they blew Misfortune out. We know they blew Jarvan out, all on picking that Aurelia out. I think they could have forced.
Better safe than sorry with Baron coming up.
That's fair. My perspective on that was if they force that inhibitor, that's constant pressure in bot lane, while their objective is going to be up in the top side. So even if they lose their Baron fight out, then their base kind of gets taken over. Nasa's stepping up a little far here.
Big fight around Baron. Cho'Gath's gonna ult the Nautilus, take him out. Nasus is in the backline causing a havoc. Corki and Nasus show right here. They're the only two survivors, but man, they output a lot of damage.
Yeah, so
3 for 3. The Nasus didn't take a point of damage, it seems like.
he took some damage on it. He just has at 12% life steals doing work.
Yeah. He could just ignore turrets.
Yeah, and this is the part where that Corki scaling coming in heavy, and watching that Nasus, he's level 17 at the current time versus like Leona's at 11, Nautilus is at 12, Jarvan's 13, Corki's 15. We have Nasus out here almost to level 18.
Almost
looks like
9 different stacks. Yeah, I mean,
so it looks like on that last fight, Filbert went in. He went hard toward the backline, but it looks like Leaf Leaks was pretty hesitant to take that fight. If they're going to hesitate on that, Syndicate's just going to pull the trigger the way they need to.
I would like to say that while the gold lead is still massive, Nasus does have the most gold in the game. By a good 1,000.
Yeah.
It really is the Nasus show here. Corki's starting to do some relevant damage, but it's pretty much the Nasus show for Syndicate.
Yeah, and
Jarvan's barely going to slip out.
Jarvan is going to get out.
It would have been a guaranteed Baron for... I mean, they're still going to take it. Or start it up, but...
They look like they're going to get contested, though, because Cho'Gath did get used trying to pick out that Jarvan.
It's last shot from Aurelia. He is going to take the plan down. Also going to take the... Or Nasus will be taking Aurelia down.
Jarvan's going to waste his ult on that Aurelia pick, and it looks like Nasus might run down Leona.
Because Wither is fair. Okay, so Syndicate showing some signs of life here. They are... this Nasus is kind of hard carrying, and he's drawing so much attention. And this Corki, who's been given time to scale, is putting off some massive DPS, and they're actually getting these picks and lowering this gold lead. It's down to 6k, and they're going to get Baron after that team fight. They will give up. Ooh, that's Soul Point Drake. But it isn't Soul, and they're showing signs of life. This Nasus is really kind of taking over here.
For sure.
And if he can stall long enough to where this Corki could get another item or two, he's going to be massive as well.
And the other big thing on this too is that that pause was probably the worst thing they could have done in that position, because they got to have a mental reset. So they got to talk through all of their possibilities going forward, and it looks like it's working. Leaf Elites looks a lot sloppier ever since the pause. They aren't as confident on their plays, and Syndicate's nothing but decisive on any call being made at the moment.
Absolutely. And if Ellie doesn't start making moves soon. Like I said, this Nasus is gonna, keep taking over, and Corky is sitting on 3.5 items with tier 2 boots, and we know how much of a late game DPS monster he is. He's already putting out a lot of damage in this fight because so many resources are going to this Nasus, which are mostly wasted because he's just so tanky at this point. He does so much damage that it's just going to get to the point where they're going to continue wasting resources on Nasus, who can basically 1 or 2 shot the squishies of Lethal Elites, but Corky's also going to be on the back line pumping out massive DPS relatively untouched because they have to focus so much on Nasus.
For sure, and it looks like Nasus might even go for Death's Dance next.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be massive.
Yeah,
he's so tanky already. He's at...
This Nasus is already level 18. He's almost full build as well.
Almost full build, almost at 1,000 stacks. So tanky,
960 stacks.
And like I said, the Corky's already at a stage where he's able to output massive damage, but these last 2 items that he needs, he's just gonna get stronger and stronger. And if he could get to that 4 item, which is coming up, and then even 5 item, like I said, with so much focus going on the Nasus, he's gonna be able to output so much damage.
For sure, and it does look like they're going to fail to pick up the Cho'Gath, but they will lose the tower for it. Lethal Elites are going to try to push middle, but Nasus is going back to respond. The other thing to look at is after those 2 fights in the favor of Syndicate, that gold lead has dropped by half.
Yeah.
Syndicate's looking to force a 5v4 there because Cho'Gath is nowhere near, but he does have teleport.
Yeah, looks like they're going to just walk out safely. So, next Drake, which is Cloud Drake, obviously it's going to be Cloud Soul, comes up in 1:30. That'll be big because Ellie's on Soul Point while Syndicate's still at 2. I would imagine there's going to be a big fight in the next 1:30 to 2 minutes over that, and that could be huge. Aurelia uses that well. Leona can use Cloud Soul well. I mean, really all of them could really use it well, but Syndicate definitely doesn't want to give that up. So,
yeah, the big thing to be noted though is that Ellie is going through trying to clear out that vision control Syndicate has around this dragon, but they just have so much of it that they're not going to be able to get it all. They have to go way too deep.
Yeah, that's one thing Syndicate is really good at. Like I said, and that's one of the things during the pause where we said, they really just need to get vision out in their jungle, get these picks, take what they can, and then extend their vision line, and they've actually done that very well. All right, so the Cho'Gath is going to get caught out here. Going to get engaged on by 4. Help is coming, but I don't know if it's going to be here quick enough. And the Cho'Gath is going to die to the Nasus. Nasus with his phase rush is going to scare the Leon off, and they're pushing his 5 in the bot lane.
With that, Nasus is also almost at 1,100 stacks.
And he is just eating turret shots. And they're going to have drag control. Cho'Gath is down. We are missing that Cho'Gath ulti to help with the steal. The Jarvan is down 3 levels, so that could be huge.
The Jarvan is down 3 levels, but that Nasus Q at 1,100 is a big difference maker there.
And Nasus they really can just burn it. So, so we are both at Soul Point. Baron's up in 50 seconds. The next Drake will decide who gets the Cloud Soul.
For sure. The other thing that could happen, though, is off next Drake. Actually, no, we're going to try to force a Baron play out right now. It's not even going to wait it through.
And what a crazy game. We're approaching 40 minutes. The goal lead is only 3K now.
And dwindling at that. Zaya is not with them, so if Leaf Leaks get caught out there, that's a big part of their damage. Though Nasus and Corgi are backing there, so that Baron is actually gonna spawn with having Leaf Leaks having priority at the beginning of it. So by pings here, it looks like Syndicate's looking to try to force something, but Leaf Leaks doesn't want any part of it.
Oh, big Jarvan ult on 3 with the MF follow-up, and Syndicate is just dominating this fight so far.
We got that Jarvan MF.
Zaya, she's just going to die when she comes up. And that is a 3 for 1 or 3 for none so far. Graves is going to go down 4 for none, and forget Baron, they're just going to end the game. And this is going to be GG. I mean, 50-second death timers.
That'll put us at 1 for 1 for Leaf Elite Syndicate. So Aurelia pulls out a miracle play, but to be honest, I doubt it.
I don't see it.
And there goes their hopes, dreams, and there gets the series tied.
Syndicate down almost 9k gold, 40-minute long game. I mean, it's just a scrape back on the back of Imperishable. He was able to just take over the game and allow, like I said, this Corki to scale up. Corki did end up getting to his 4 items, but I mean, that whole entire Syndicate game was thrown on the back of this Nasus. And I mean, he just absolutely just took over mid-game and, carried his team to a win, honestly. I mean, all of Syndicate did well, and, they played exactly like they should have. They got their vision out and got their picks, but, I mean, really that was all because of Nasus. He won his lane, and he stayed relevant when the rest of his team was losing, and he absolutely hard-carried his team and stalled the game long enough and did what he had to do to get Corki up there, and they just absolutely completely turned around. And once they got that first pick when they were down, 8,500 gold, like, they pretty much won every fight since then.
For sure. And if you look at the damage charts, Nasus and Corgi did the most damage in the game by a mile.
By a mile. I mean, 30k by Nasus, 27k by Corki, and the closest was Aurelia at 17. But
yeah, and then next is MF.
Jesus. Yeah, absolute hard carry by the Nasus. The Corki obviously put in work well, but he was 100% enabled by the Nasus there. Incredible comeback for Syndicate. Gotta love it. We are going to go to a quick break, but we'll be back in just a few. It looks like we got a series shaping up. And welcome back to Game 3 of the Titan Esports Spring Invitational Finals between.
I don't think it held that long enough.
Between Syndicate Esports and Leaf Elite. And I am Kirby's. We have swapped our secondary caster. Caster, introduce yourself.
Currently wondering if Kirby's is okay. It is Eve of Shadow. How is it going, everyone?
Welcome back, Shadows. Good to have you as always. All right. Pick a bands. Game 3. I don't know if you've been keeping track, Ufe.
With which part?
With everything. The world. The current world state of affairs. But no, the series so far, we are at 1-1. We just had a pretty nutty 8k gold lead comeback by Syndicate. Looked like Leaf Elites was gonna go up ahead to a swift 2-0 lead, and Syndicate had a pretty big comeback. They were down quite a bit of gold and swung in and got the game 2 win. So we are tied at 1-1, and looks like Leaf Elites is going to be blue side and Syndicate is going to be red side this game. The Nasus is gone, which was the hard carry of the last game. And Syndicate's going with the same bands, same 3 bands of Cassiopeia, Wukong, and Yasuo, except now they're taking off Aurelia and Akali, so they are really, like, every game they're adding another band of Filbert. Like it was, whoever Cassiopeia first game, and then Yasuo pops off, so they add Akali, who he has played before and popped off. Then Aurelia pops off, so now he is their Syndicate's also banning Aurelia. So you've got 4 bans at Filbert and 1 for Griff coming out of Syndicate. Just shows you, how big really Filbert is to this Lethal Elite's lineup. I mean, he won Plat League's award for hardest lane opponent, and I think he is proving that tonight against, Latona, who I've said was this league's most valuable player. And apparently the cast ban is for Griff in the top lane. Filbert has a bad cast. Thank you, Spy, for the insider information from the team.
A step ahead of Cataclysm.
But so far, Ellie has picked up Pantheon, Bard, Ashe, and Ryze, while Syndicate has picked up Kayn, Taric, Varus, and Vlad. So the first 2 games, you saw similar team comps getting running back. A lot of the same champions picked up, but we have totally went off the rails here and pretty much completely switched it up so far. Got a lot of unique champions to the series this pick and ban so far. I think Ashe is the only one that's been played so far. I'm pretty sure. I think Ashe was played in game 1, I think. I don't know, it seems so long ago so far. But yeah, a lot of new stuff here.
Know the loom, be the stone.
And Talia. Talia.
I don't know. I apparently pronounce all the names wrong.
I get that too. Like, everybody says I pronounce Vigar wrong. I pronounce Talia wrong.
How do you pronounce Vigar wrong? Because it's sure as hell not Vigar.
That's what everybody says, I feel like. Vi is apparently pronounced 15 different ways.
Got it.
V, Vi, Ve.
Vo, Fee, Fi, Fo, Fum.
Yeah. I pronounce your name wrong.
Everybody pronounces my name
Like,
wrong. It's fine.
I know I pronounce your name wrong, like, as, like, the meme or whatever, like the Oofa Shadoos, but, like, I kind of have to stick with it because I genuinely, even though you just introduced yourself, like, I just genuinely forgot. Like, I literally don't know how to pronounce your name right. And every time you say it, like, it instantly just leaves my brain, and all I can think of is, like, the meme of Oofa Shadoo. Like, you genuinely just said it, 3 minutes ago, and I can't remember. Like, you could literally say, if I guessed your name right now, you give me $100 PayPal, and I could not do it. Could not do it. It's like Alf, Oof, Eve, Aoife. Like, that's correct. Like, it's insane. Like, I'll forget it immediately after like 2 minutes. Aoife. I don't see it. But anyways, our draft is done. The Darius is drafted again, which it did get played mid by Latona game 1. It got the early solo kill on the Yasuo, but after that solo kill, it got behind and it wasn't super relevant for the rest of the game. So we'll see if it goes we'll see if it goes top here or if it does go back to Latona, because Vlad is another really, they're both for Syndicate. Vlad and Darius will both be flex picks. Either one could probably go to either lane. Do I know what a solo kill is? Yes, I do. Oh no, that you know what, Philly, you were right. You did get ganked on Yasuo that first kill. I apologize. You were ganked and Darius did get the kill. I apologize. Sorry, I forgot one play from game 1 of this series that occurred almost 3 hours ago. My bad. Yes, Philly did get ganked. He did not die to a solo kill, and then he managed to pick up like 14 triple kills and went 4 billion and 3. Are you happy, Philly? Are you happy, Filbert? Look, Filbert, you're drawing 3 bands. Like, congratulations, you're the best player in the world. Is that what you wanted to hear from me, Filbert? Is that what you wanted?
Tyrant.
Well, you win this, Filbert. You win this series, and you pop off for every other game, and I will non-sarcastically tell you all of that. Matter of fact, her side this Friday, I will announce it live in front of 50 people, or how many people are going to watch on her side. I will announce everything I just said non-sarcastically if you pop off every game of this series and win it and beat Syndicate.
You're able to talk in a sarcastic manner.
No, but I will do my best. That's all that matters.
I was about to say that is great news to me.
Whatever. I am gonna take this this break here to enjoy my little Debbie snack cakes. What's your favorite Little Debbie, Heather? And don't say I don't eat Little Debbie. Just tell me your favorite Little Debbie.
I'm trying to think of what classifies as little or like which ones are classified as Little Debbie.
Well, I'll tell you right now the correct answer, so you don't even have to think. It's zebra cakes.
Oh, my brain automatically said the little cosmic brownies, but I don't think those are Little Debbie.
I think they are. I count those like any of those. Like it doesn't even have to be little. I'm just talking about those boxes of like Little Debbie style snacks. I don't really care what the brand is. It could be Kroger brand for all I care. Just the snacks in general. Cosmic brownies are up there. Like that's a respect.
I like the cosmic brownies or the Swiss rolls.
Yeah, that's also respect. It's a respectable pick, but it's incorrect. Zebra cake, preferably. I don't know if you've seen, but they make zebra cake rolls now. They're like the shape. They're way better than the regular zebra cakes. I don't know how or why, but zebra cakes are amazing. But I guess just because they changed the shape, like the ratio of icing to cake to like the outer shell is different. And they are just like 3 times better than regular zebra cakes. Like they're so good. Zebra cake rolls. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Like, and it's insane, like insanely good. Like they're so much better than. It's just weird. Like they're the same thing, but they're just so much better than zebra cakes. It's nutty to me. So yeah, I'm glad you found them because I eat like 3 boxes a week of those. Like, actually, like it's not even an exaggeration. A week. Yeah, they're good. I am not going to chill with the Little Debbies, and you can't make me.
I try really hard to not buy them because I eat them too fast.
Me too. Like legitimately, like I'll eat a whole box in a night if my fiance doesn't stop me. Like, I'm supposed to be casting the finals of the Plat League series right now. Instead, I'm eating zebra cake rolls. What, zebra cake rolls? They're the best thing on this earth. I mean, it's not even close. Yeah. Oh, I hate them. Disgusting. I'm eating one right now, live on stream. Hell yeah, they're good. I might go get another one right now in this minute. Hold on, BRB.
At that rate, I'm surprised he doesn't just have a box of them beside his computer.
Back with more Little Debbies.
I'm surprised that you don't just have a box sitting next to your computer.
I'm trying to ration them.
Oh,
She locks them up. I have to beg. I have to. Well, what she does is, when I do chores, like when I mow the grass, I get a certain amount of like good boy points. When I fold my clothes, get good boy points, and I can cash in my good boy points for Tendies or Little Debbie's. But I always pick Little Debbie's instead of Tendies. I've actually saved up a lot of good boy points. My client is bugged. I still have like the like I'm loading in right now, but I still have champ select music. What the fuck? You have it too? Like I'm in game. Like I'm already loaded in. I still have champ select music.
I don't have any music.
How does one acquire the power of good boy points? Oh well, my fiance has a list of chores I can. So I have a list on my fridge. Oh, I'm at 12 seconds.
Oh, I passed 12 seconds. I forgot.
Oh
I'm
my
at 17.
god. I'll go to 17. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go to 17.
I mean,
Alright,
if
so
you just glance at it fast enough, 2 and 7 look a lot alike, right?
Yeah, pretty close-ish. I still have champ select music. What the hell?
I don't have any music. Mine's
Are you mad?
non-existent.
It's so weird. It looks like the stream is froze for them. Or I'm looking at the stream, it's still. Alright, there you go, Twitch chat. I don't know why. Yeah, League is. I still have champ select music, it's so weird. Still stream getting champ select music as well?
Lovely amount of pings.
So is the stream, is Twitch chat hearing the champ select music? Enjoy, guys, because I am also hearing. You're not getting it, Heather?
I don't have any music.
Do you just have music turned off, like where you didn't hear it during champ select? Oh, huh.
I don't have it turned off. I had music during Champ Select, but now it's non-existent.
Yeah, I don't know. Knocks in like Heather's didn't glitch, but mine and Productions is glitched. I hear it as well, and obviously you guys do. So League is acting a little funky. Indiana company, by the way.
Nice and boring lanes. No one chooses to engage it.
So this is a Talia mid, which you don't see often anymore. Really, you only see it with the Pantheon jungle, just because of their synergy together. But pretty interesting going into the Vlad. The Syndicate Esports did opt to send Darius to the top lane instead of mid lane with Latona, like we saw in Game 1. It's interesting to see the Kane come out here. You don't see that a lot in competitive games. I'm assuming it's got to be a Young Buttertails special for him to bring it out here. Pretty exciting stuff going on so far here. A lot of people right-clicking minions.
This is so boring right now.
Well, if you pay attention, like every few seconds, they're right-clicking a different minion, which pretty riveting.
You're right. It's like it's just a little bit more exciting than watching the grass grow.
Or think of the APM, like the high intensity these players are going through. How fast they're right-clicking the ground. How fast they're right-clicking minions and champions. Like they're probably sitting at 4 billion APM right now. Like it may not seem like it, but this is an insane just display of mechanical prowess by both these teams. Incredible.
Pantheon attempts to gank.
He's just kind of hiding out. It looks like he's gonna have Bard portal him in. Ooh, the E from Taric comes out a little too early, and the flash goes out, but the Pantheon stun goes through, and Bard's gonna pick up the
first
blood.
for Blizzard.
You hate to see it. The stun animation already went off before the flash came through, so it followed him through the flash, and you know, you hate to see those. You really do.
That was a pretty smooth gank.
Yeah. Yeah, he backed off and called for the Bard to come and E him through the wall.
Kane finishes off top blue side.
Running through walls, doing Kane stuff.
Can you imagine how much fun that would be in like IRL?
Running through walls?
Yeah.
You're thinking of ghosts or spirits?
Maybe. I don't know. But like, I just think it would be funny.
I feel like there's a lot more abilities in League I'd rather do than run through walls. Like, I don't know, like Talia's ult would be pretty cool. It's like summon a wall and just ride that baby like SpongeBob. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
Want to see me surf this wall?
Or see me do it again.
Yeah.
Crack a tower. I think that was the same episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're gonna try and do drag.
I don't know, Bard ult would be cool in real life. You could just like freeze something for a few seconds, like a big area.
That would be very interesting.
I would freeze my fiance on the couch so I could run into the kitchen and grab the box of Little Debbie's and run back, and she doesn't know how to do it.
That's a very good use. Alright. So
So-
first dragon goes.
Yeah, Leaf Elite gets the first dragon out pretty early. Pretty average start here, like pretty similar CS leads, or CS in all lanes but top. Darius has given himself quite a lead actually in the top lane. Yeah. Bard is going to roam up with Pantheon, but Vladimir with his very interactive pull ability can go completely untargetable and just walk on out of there. Very interactive. Darius has quite the large CS lead for 8 minutes in the game. Sitting at 23 CS lead so far. But Ryze does have his tier, so you know he can start attempting to shove the lane back in so he's not losing it all to turret. Ryze just isn't super fun to farm under turret early. Not at all. Yeah, see, Ryze got his tier. He can actually start trading a little bit now. So our top laners are 7, our mid laners are 7 and 8, our junglers are just now hitting 6. So I'd expect the excitement to come up a little bit, as you know, with Kane ult allows them to make some engaging plays and pick up some kills. Then obviously Pantheon semi-global can drop him behind any laners for a gank. So we'll see if anything pops off here soon with these junglers having their ultimates. Bot lane also has their ultimates, so all ultimates in the game are usable at the moment. Both junglers clearing out some vision in their respective junglers. So it looks like Varus is going for the lethality poke build. He did take common and he went for a serrated dirt first. So he'll be doing that that build where his Q hits for 40 billion damage. And one shots squishies from 75% HP. Fun stuff.
Pantheon working on that Rift Herald.
Yeah, Pantheon's got pretty much perma prio in the mid lane. The Talia's definitely going to shove in this Vladimir for at least a couple levels. Like, Vladimir is, you know, just so weak early. He really needs to get leveled up so he gets points in his abilities, but he also just needs more CDR than the 10% he has from Fiendish, or 20% he has from Fiendish Codex and Kindle Gem. It's very hard for Vladimir to farm. The shove waves or push under turret at lower levels, or farm under turret or push waves back into a Talia, is what I meant to say. And yeah, you could just do that. Like, you know, Talia's primary combo relies on, you know, hitting the W, which he could just pull every time, and that's, you know, most of her burst damage gone. She really need to either burn the W. Oh,
Talia,
he's getting
likely
3-man tank.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
flashes out and she will survive. Does burn the Taric Ignite, but she does burn flash for it. She gets out. Yeah, he'll get more CDR from his runes, but until he gets to like level 12, like 11, 12, 13, and gets, you know, 40% CDR, like, he does not
bad
feel
fight
good
card.
farming. Alright, so he flashes out. Elspeth comes with the Ash Arrow.
Ooh.
Oh, and they turn it. They're both going to die for this, 100%. Nope. Well, Taric flashes, but Ash flashes for the follow-up and gets the kill. They both do die for it. I'd imagine this Varus is going to die as well, and Ash picks up too. Talia R's the Darius off, and Vladimir is going to have to flash over the wall, but he gets hit by the Talia W and dies as well. Ooh, Rise ults in to get the root off, but follow-up's not close enough. Ooh, he gets pulled under the turret. He takes 2 turret shots, fails his flash, and dies. Hate to see it. That was a really good catch by the Talia. You know, she comes in, walls off the Darius, the Vladimir pulls to get to the wall, flashes over, but is caught by the Talia W, and she drops the wall to take him down. Rise gets a little bit too excited there. Ults towards the Darius, flashes in, or well, he burned his flash earlier, but gets the root off and gets pulled under the turret, then fails his flash out. Yeah, I hate to see it. So LE jumps up to a 2k gold lead, but this Darius did pick up a kill, and he's alone for quite a bit in the top lane, hammering on the turret, getting those turret plates. So you know, that sets him out to a pretty big lead. He's got almost 1,200 gold lead over the Rise right now. The Rift Herald will come mid lane and get the first turret. Talia does get some good damage down on Vladimir, but he'll just pull away because that's a fun ability. But they do pick up the first turret. Talia sitting at about 1,200 gold over her lane opponent. Darius sitting about 1,200 gold over his, so pretty interesting spread of gold for the teams. But it is about a 1,600 gold lead over the LE right now. Ash has jumped out to a 20 CS lead as well. Varus did go for the Umbral Glaive first, which is the new item, new lethality item this year. It's pretty cheap, leads to a nice early spike. Oh, and the Bard ult hits the tower and Varus. Varus's ult, Tariq's ult goes away, and they do manage to pick up both of them. They lose the Pantheon for it, but they do get both kills, and they will most definitely take this turret down. So they trade 1 for 1 or 1 for 2 and get the turret. Pantheon does die, but it's definitely worth. And that was fantastic. The Bard ulted, hit the Varus and the turret, and Pantheon ulted in. And while the Tariq ult did manage to go off, a lot of it that was on the Varus was wasted by the. Toast is just going to get caught out. But a lot of the Tariq ult was wasted by Bard ult. So the Varus did not get a lot of value out of it. And it did allow Tariq to stay alive long enough for them to get the return kill on Pantheon, but they both die and the turret goes down for it in the end. And this Kayn not looking so hot for Syndicate. 0-2 start. He does have a little bit of a CS lead, quite a bit of a CS lead, but overall they're pretty much dead even in gold. Both these junglers are, just because the Pantheon has been able to impact the map so much. And oh no, the Ryze just walked out of his ult. He was trying not to get, I get it, he was trying not to get CC'd and, walk around the edge, but he just missed his ult. He walks away, and he gets out, but...
Bard?
Oh, Bard, what are you doing?
I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, Bard, baby, what is you doing? Oh, Bard, baby, and what is you doing? But no, they'll just rotate the Rift Herald. Syndicate is showing up. Don't think they're going to give this up without a fight. The Bard ult just hits the Varus. Oh, and the Ashe Herald's a little late, but it actually does hit the Tariq, and Varus and Tariq both die for it. Darius goes down as well, and Kayn will just get out. So they got 3 kills. The Ashe picked up 2 of them, and they won the Rift Herald as the prize as well. So very good fight for LB. They went 3 for 0 and got the Rift Herald. That brings them to a nearly 4K gold lead, and Lethal Eats has run away with the early game so far this game.
And now we get to battle for the dragon! Maybe.
So the Kayn opted to go blue Kayn, which is the Shadow Assassin, which is interesting. I don't know a lot about the 2 different Kayns, but I know Shadow Assassin is more of the assassin, Percy, and Ross is more of like the unkillable late game healing monster that's relatively tanky. Interesting choice here. I mean, there's not really a true tank on LE, and they're all pretty squishy, but... The Talia wall comes out. Ashe ult does hit Kane. He goes in. Bardold hits 2. And that's going to be a dead flan as well. So they trade again, 2 for 1. The Pantheon does go down, but they pick up 2. They burn a lot of ults in the process, but they do end up getting
Vladimir
more
finally
kills.
got his first tower.
Oh, he's going up so fast. Yeah, these Bard ults are fantastic. He's in the Varus every single time, and he's dying every single time. Like I think at least 3 of Varus's 4 deaths have been directly off Bard ults and them setting up around it. Spy is putting in work here on this Bard. These Ash Arrows have been on point as well. Talia R's and Pantheon R's have all been very, very good this game so far.
They've gotten really smooth rotations throughout this game.
Leaf Fleets is on Soul Point already. They're up 4K. One more Drake and they will have the Cloud Soul.
I think the Cloud is my least favorite. But that's probably because that seems to be what I get the most often.
Alright, so Kane burns the flash of Filbert. Filbert's getting killed anyways. Because Filbert is this year's toughest lane opponent, and he's out here showing why he won that award. Is Bard going to try to 1v1 the Vladimir here, and he's going to scare him away. Spooky Bard. Alright, so Ellie is getting the Rise of Teleport on Baron, and they are burning this down. The Kane is dead, he just now spawned, and they're not going to be able to contest this whatsoever. That is a 21-minute Baron, very early Baron out of Leaf Elite here, and they're in full control of this game. They're up 7K gold lead, and they've got, you know, bounties on their whole bot side, their mid, and their bot lane, and they are shoving his 5 down mid, and yeah, they're in full control. Ash Arrow comes out. It does hit the Taric, but there's no engage. So let's see, on Drake we have about a minute left till it spawns. Gotta imagine Syndicate's not gonna let it go over easy for Soul.
They're in lots of vision right now. Trying to get those waves pushing out.
So yeah, they're really just gonna play it chill till the strike comes up. Don't make any crazy moves, and Syndicate just has to give it over. Like, they have no real viable way to contest that. So Leaf Elite is gonna pick up the Dragon Soul in 23 minutes.
Ash Arrow miss.
It might have been the first Ash Arrow I've seen miss.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yes.
Still gonna get that tower though.
Oh yeah. Elspeth has been very on point with these Ash Heroes today, this game. They're going to be sieging mid lane here. Darius misses his pool, but they're also shoving the bot lane in as well. Exciting stuff here. Wave clearing.
It's like a mini stalemate.
Yeah.
One team's just farming it out, and the other one's just trying to keep things not in their base.
Right. Yeah, Leaf Fleets is just in full control. Like, this is kind of, you know, the point Syndicate was at last game, which they did come back and win. It's almost identical. Like, it's almost the 8K gold lead, which is, you know, where Syndicate was at around this point last game. Leaf Fleets did not end up getting the soul. So that's one thing Leaf Fleets do have going for them. But, yeah, it's pretty close to how last game was. And Syndicate was able to come back. You know, they grinded it out to a 40-minute game. Yeah, just pause. Yeah, right around this point last game, there was a pause. Leaf Fleets had to pause for about 8 minutes. And after that, Syndicate just took over, even though they were down 8K. So,
Oh gosh.
who knows? Might be a pause incoming. Maybe that's the key to success. Pauses. Some more sieging with wave clear. You know, with Varus and Vladimir, they can wave clear pretty quickly. Some good poke on the Vladimir. They do end up getting the turret down. They're forewarning here. Kane is actually bot lane trying to shove minions out, so they do have the numbers advantage. Kane looks like he's gonna get behind this Ryze here, and they are gonna engage on her. Ryze is gonna come up to. Oh, Ryze just absolutely burns down the Kane. Oh, that Ash Herald was perfectly timed, but the Darius did have just a split second to flash away. Yeah, that Kane came for the flank, and I mean, he pretty much instantly died. He's, I think Red Kane would have definitely been the play here. You know, he's 1 in 5. I think Red Kane would have been a lot better of the route to go instead of, you know, being so far behind on Shadow Assassin. This got to feel really bad. He can't blow nobody up, and he's so glass cannon, he just explodes as well. Baron just now comes up, and Leaf Fleets is going to immediately take it. Syndicate can't get anywhere near it, and this will put them at probably an 11K gold lead. Yeah, so they're at 12K gold lead now. Leaf Fleets does have Baron, and you gotta imagine they could just brute force their way into a win here. I think that's where Leaf Fleets messed up last game, is that, you know, they weren't forcing anything with an 8K gold lead, and they were just kind of playing this, you know, farm and stall game for some reason, and letting, you know, Nasus kind of take over and letting Corki scale. And I think your best bet right now, if you're Leaf Fleets, is just group with Baron and just siege, and, you know, you're up 12K gold. Like, you can just brute force a 5v5 and win the game. So they are going to go back into the 4-1, Ryze in the mid, the other 4 bot lane. Vladimir is top. Now would be the perfect time to make some kind of engage, force something.
Still got the tower.
Yeah, mid lane turret goes down. That's really going to open this game up, especially if they can get this bot lane turret as well. With 2 turrets down, like, the only safety, you know, Syndicate's going to get is on their next turn. I would imagine with this wave, bot turret's going to go down.
Oh, Bard ult.
The Bard ult hits 2.
Ash ult, perfect Ash ult.
Yeah, and this is going to be the team fight, which probably ends the game. Well, everybody manages to get out. No deaths so far.
Talia cutting it a little close on that one though.
Yeah. They're gonna take both of the turrets. They're gonna go get Elder, I'm assuming. I feel like they really could have ended there, but they're playing it safe.
Reset straight for Elder.
Elder is now live. Kane is here. What is Kane doing? He literally just, like, I'm pretty sure that was just a straight up int.
Yeah,
Like, he literally just ran into them and then, toast? He just ran at them and did nothing? That was actually int? Hello? Okay. Interesting. So I'd imagine this is GG here. You're at a 15k gold lead. There's no way in the world Syndicate wins a team fight here. Like, it's actually not possible.
Oh, Ash Arrow missed. That was such a sad Ash Arrow. that was a oif Ash Arrow right there.
I don't know what Toast is doing. Like, he's...
I have a feeling he's extra super tilted.
Yeah, this is definitely a tilted Toast here.
Oh, we're
Pantheon.
just gonna end.
And
We
they've
got a
towered.
kill, but
Yeah, they've
We're
towered
just
out.
gonna end into the.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Toast, but that is Leaf Elite's win. Very, very impressive win. 15k gold lead. They end the game in 31 minutes. You know, the bot lane go deathless. 4-0-10 for Elspeth. 4-0-11 for the Bard. I mean, I think the Bard was, you know, really, he was my. If I had to pick an MVP for that match, it'd be him. Like, I mean, he had some insane ults, and he was all over the place roaming. And Bard really, really made that game there. Let's look at the gold graph. Actually, Flans Varus had the most damage in the game, but no one else on his team. No one else on his team did anything. Like, Pantheon was the least damage on his team, and he was the only one who, you know, didn't completely outdamage the entirety of Syndicate besides Varus. But that is Leaf Elite's hopping out to a 2-1 lead. We're going to take a few minutes break, and we'll be back for Game 4. And welcome back to Game 4 of the Titan Esports Olympian League Finals. Leaf Elite has jumped out to a 2-1 lead over Syndicate, and a very impressive Game 3 ended up winning by 15,000 gold. We have switched casters once again. We've got a special, very, very special guest caster here for Game 4. Go on and introduce yourself. Fan favorite, by the way.
Oh my god. Hello again, everyone. It is the one, well, one of the ones, and maybe the only of me at least, Brer, here again to cast, this time being treated to cast alongside my fellow man Curbs, might I say. And happy to be here for a Game 4. Gonna see how it goes here between Leaf Elite and Syndicate Esports. See if we get to go to that Game 5 and get us a silver scrapes or not. Who knows what's gonna happen?
I am hoping for a silver scrapes because I just absolutely love 5-game series on Sunday nights going to 1 or 2 points.
The only as good as being followed by a 5-game series on Monday nights.
We've had a lot of 5-game series lately.
Please.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. They make for hype, and it's the playoffs. You know, anything can happen.
Hell yeah, it's the finals. And going into our draft here, you know, from the side of Syndicate, those are 3 bands I expected to see. From the side of Leaf Elites, you know, after I was tuning in and I heard in that game 2 an 1100 stack Nasus, and I'm like, ooh, so I can see why that might be banned from the side of Leaf Elite this round.
Yeah, interesting though, like they're still sticking with this Cassiopeia and this Wukong bans, and obviously Yasuo, they left it open game 1, and Filbert definitely punished them for it. But yeah, it seems like Filbert just pretty much pops off on whatever you give him. Like, there's definitely a reason why he won toughest lane opponent.
Oh, absolutely. You just see that man lane, you're like, this is not... You just resign yourself to not having fun, basically. You're just sitting there trying to survive. That's where you're at. And going into this, also with this picks as well, we see an Azir for Syndicate, along with a Braum and Caitlyn, which are expected. The Azir, though, are we getting some Latona Azir?
Leaf Elite's going to pick up Corki, and we're going to have the boring 40-minute snooze fest of Corki Azir mid lane.
Dude.
Zed's going to end up going top.
No, this has to be Zed mid. I want a Zed versus Azir game.
I'm actually surprised that Zed comes out early. Like, it's exciting. Like, Gilbert on Zed is definitely an exciting, prospect to think about.
Mm-hmm. I bet that's why they picked up the Lulu second as well, because they didn't want Syndicate to pick that up, because that's just going to shut down the Zed the second he tries to do anything.
Right.
And a Kog'Maw. A Kog'Maw?
Lulu
Kog'Maw.
Interesting.
We're going to have to look this up. When was the last time we saw a Kog'Maw get played in any single game between Gladiator and Olympian?
I can't personally remember one ever. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but I cannot personally remember a Kog'Maw being played in TES. But I don't keep up with much Gold League, so...
Yes, it might be myself going into my senile old age here, but I'm just like, not coming to mind anybody ever playing that. I don't know of any ADC in our respective groups that plays themselves some Kog'Maw. So, there's a first time for everything.
Right, and but I mean, especially with the Lulu, if he could get to that late game, where he gets his items and has a Lulu to protect him, I mean, he can actually, 1v9 and take over a game.
Oh, he can become so scary. I mean, just thinking about it, do you want to see this weird worm thing from a literal alternate dimension run at your face and then puke at you? Who wants that in their life? That's just terrible. Oh my god.
Don't kink shame some people like that.
This is one of those few times where, yes, I will kink shame. If that is your kink, you need to go get checked out. That's not okay. If there ends up Cthulhu fucking ends up in our world because you want to have some weird ass monster that just comes and pukes on you because that's your kink, we have a problem.
Don't kink shame, dude. You're making TES look bad.
I'm setting standards is what I'm doing.
So according to our production, Kog'Maw has not been played at all in Plat League.
Hot damn.
Interesting time to bring out a unique pick for the entirety of the season.
Whoa! We're getting Lee Sin.
Lee Sin versus Sejuani.
That's what I want to see. I want to see Lee Sin just jump in there, try and kick somebody, but since he's blind, he has no clue where anybody is, so he just fails at everything.
Something like that.
That's what's going to happen. Although, I don't know why you... See, they have a Lulu. That's going to be the unfortunate thing. Like, Lee Sin's going to be your only one that's going to really want to dive in at the moment. And Lulu's just going to be like, nope. 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 Here, have like a 2-second silence. Nope. Point and click. Nope. Fair and balanced. Nope.
Yeah, I really don't like the Lee Sin pick into this team. Like,
wait, is that Azir top lane? Oh my god.
I told you, Azir was going top, bro.
What?
They weren't going to play Azir into Zed? That sounds terrible. Interesting.
So then so maybe we will get a fun mid lane. We'll have a LeBlanc and Zed. Well, we get some fun. I want fun. I want blood. I'm here for blood and lots of it. Which is probably going to come from Zed, because he's the one with the knives.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Filbert on Zed, honestly.
I just want to know who's going to get first. Who do you think? Who's getting first blood in this comp? Who's getting, between what you see right now, what team is getting first blood?
Hopefully Zed. I don't know. I'd like to see the Zed get ahead and pop off. That's always exciting, watching Fed Zeds go in and like ult to carry, but also like, you know, hit three shurikens on, you know, multiple different people. And Orianna picked up. All right, so right off the bat, I really like this Lethal East draft. Like, you know, they've got, you know, ways to protect Kog'Maw, who late game is going to get just absolutely demolished. You know, or not demolished. He'll absolutely be able to, you know, put out insane DPS. He's got a Sejuani pilling for him, a Lulu pilling for him. Like, they really only have LeBlanc and Lee Sin to worry about as far as diving the Kog'Maw, which, you know, Sejuani and Lulu should be able to handle. They got Zed to get in the back line. Lots of squishy targets in the Lee Sin, LeBlanc, Caitlyn, and Azir for the Zed to hop on. Kog'Maw will be able to burst down really just the Braum as far as their front line goes. Kog'Maw should be able to shred through that, and, you know, with his insane range, be able to, you know, get through the tanks, well, tank and Braum front line and wreck the back line. And Sejuani's got peak potential. Orianna's got really good, you know, just team fighting in general. So I really like Lethal East draft here.
I do feel Griff, aka Chinaman, though, when he says, I don't want to play a melee champion in this league anymore. That's like, you look at this, no matter which way you cut it, I don't know. I have not seen Azir. I assume that's going to be Azir getting played top by Imperishable. I have not seen him play Azir. I don't know how well this is going to go, but from what I know of Jet playing Azir top, is it's usually pretty much cancer for whoever is playing against the Azir, because it's usually a melee.
Right. Yeah, I know top laners just absolutely love going against range tops. It's their favorite thing in the world. Oh, Zed's gonna go top.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So it is not Filbert on Zed. They are forcing that matchup.
That matchup is so happening.
Okay.
Which kind of makes me sad a little bit, because I wanted to see a bunch of murder happen in the lane.
This is interesting. So Azir, Zed top. Azir is going to Imperishable, and Latona will be taking LeBlanc. Griff on Zed, and Filbert on Orianna. Interesting.
I think I see a little bit of where they're going with the Orianna is try and play a little more safe. Keep the wave pushed in, because if you can just keep LeBlanc pushed into tower, she can't go roaming around as easily trying to get kills elsewhere.
You just have to be really careful with Orianna, because when you don't have the ball on you, you have, like, by far, like, the least, like, armor and MR in the game. Like, the ball, when you have the ball on you, you know, it gives you that extra armor and MR. And when you don't have, like, you know, if she goes to Q and gets some poke damage off the LeBlanc, she could take a lot of return damage if the ball's not on her.
That's absolutely. She, very susceptible early, especially if you're with Elisa and LeBlanc. That is going to be some scary stuff that can possibly go into the mid lane there. Start murking people left and right. And if you get that LeBlanc going, like, yeah, if Syndicate, if they start getting going as well, this is if either side gets going, they can just start rolling it, because the only tanky people you really have are going to be Sejuani and the Braum. So everybody else is just going to be there to get murdered.
Right. And really, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, if I had to choose between what tank I wanted for my front line, I'm taking Sejuani over Braum every day.
Absolutely. I mean, Braum has a bit more, I guess, peel potential for, especially for Flan there. Being able, just with his passive, especially if you get a Zed popping in, maybe if you're able to get that stun off in time or whatnot, though, more likely than not, you're just going to have a dead Flan.
Yeah.
And now, we get our 2 minutes in. We are 45 seconds of spectator delay, brought to you by Riot Games.
Thank you, Rito, for your graciousness.
For your illustrious and beauty that only 200 years of experience could fully exemplify.
Exactly.
Which is why... Actually, I don't know where I wanted to go with that. Curbs, have you ever played Divinity 2?
I have not played any of the Divinities.
So I just got... Who else is now? We've gotten Chad, we got Major going into it, we got Cancer. We were playing a little bit with Quirky earlier. Let's just say it's a pretty...
Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about it.
What is up, you guys?
Wait. Hold up. I did not see that part. Did Toast didn't go Red Cane?
No, he went Blue Cane last game when they were
Toast,
down.
you monkey!
He was like 1-5 at one point. Yeah. Like, I don't really know what the deal with that was. I can't imagine. You want somebody that's going to stay alive and actually put down some CC, especially when he was the most behind on his team. It was a little weird. I don't know, but hey, it happened.
League of Legends. Shit happened. Blame everybody else but yourself. But yeah. So then, do you think you're gonna see? Do you think Miento is gonna be? Is he just gonna do a Sejuani thing, kind of hang out in his jungle early here, just farm it up, and then try to do some stuff here? Do you see that? Do you see him needing to put out some early aggression as well to try and counter if Toast decides to do his stuff?
I mean, I can see Julian maybe putting some pressure topside if the Azir, overextends, or maybe trying to help the Orianna. But I would imagine he's probably going to try to get to 6 rather quickly. He might, if Julian gets good tracking, good vision on the Lee Sin, try to counter gank and meet him somewhere to kind of stifle Lee Sin getting ahead or him getting his laners ahead. But for the most part, I imagine Julian really wants to just get to 6 so he can really use that ult and make plays to get one of his solo laners ahead. Is what I would imagine, but we'll see.
So he can unlock the true potential of getting your ultimate ability.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Believe in the me that believes in you. Row, fight the power. Row, Eisenhower. Ooh, FPX Lee Sin.
Filbert flexing the fact that he was gold last year. Filbert flexing the fact that he was gold last year with the Victorious Orianna skin.
That son of a bitch.
Insane.
Roger, this is Brother Actual. I will be pausing at 12 seconds. I repeat, pausing at 12. I am paused at 12 seconds.
Okay.
Boom!
We are on the rift and getting ready to go here. See if we have any wacky invades so far this game.
Dude, I think you might see something out of Leaf Elites. Probably not, though. Because they don't really have that great... Nobody has... honestly, I think Syndicate would have the better level 1 just with Braum passive, but...
Right.
I think I think at this point they're too much like, nope, we gotta play it straight. Yeah. We gotta win this.
Pretty serious here. Match point for Leaf Elites.
We gotta get this to Silver Scrapes.
Boo-doo-doo. That would be it's Sunday night, and I'd like to go to bed. And I'm tired of Game 5s. Quite frankly, we've had too many of them.
Feels Vlad. But yep, that's all we're seeing right now is a good old 5-point stance from both teams. Classic 5-point. Ooh, cheeky little ward there from Perishable. Be like, I see you. See you over there. Look at you go. You're going back to your tower. Griff's like, yes. Yes, I am. Thank you for keeping an eye out on me.
So both junglers are going to start bot side, get that fat, juicy leash from the bot laners.
Tasty, tasty bot leash. Oh my god. And this is where, as is proper etiquette, the bot lane needs to start pinging why the jungler hasn't ganked yet after giving such a good leash.
Solo queue special.
Dude, that's what I expect wherever I'm at is the solo queue special. Little bit of damage going out in the mid lane. Here in the bot, ooh. Elpseth being like, I'm doing my puking things already.
I'm sure there's some people whose kink that is already at home pretty excited about that.
Don't at me!
At
I
Brayer,
don't care!
At Brayer about your voidling kinks, your void
No!
monster puke kinks.
I swear to God, I do not need your Rule 34 anywhere near my eye brains.
You know, I guarantee you that exists already. Some cognitive.
Oh, yes, that is. Oh,
right?
absolutely. That's why I just don't at me.
Here, I'll find that subreddit, the other league subreddit, and I'll find you, sir.
Oh my God. Well, while he's doing that, while he's like just trying to make my life miserable here, it's kind of just a CS fest at the moment. CS Fiesta.
His last game started off was just some pretty boring basic stuff, and then Leaf Leech just randomly hopped out, took the control, and ended up with a 15k gold lead.
Oh, we do see Young Butter. He's mid lane. Oh, hold on. Flash. Oh, ooh, still some good damage going out. I swear to God, I'm getting added all of a sudden. This is just... Oh no, this is gonna end poorly for me. Though they did pull a flash from Filbert there between some spiffy moves from Young Butter and Goodall. That is actually a lot of dashes between the two of them to get onto people and murder things.
Yeah, LeBlanc, Lee Sin, frickin' Azir's got a dash. Brown.
Oh, that was a nice dodge of the chains.
Oh, Lee Sin's back, and Filbert doesn't have flash. You gotta think he's dead here, right?
You do have to think he's dead. We'll see. Actually, nice flash from
beautiful flash.
Beautiful flash into a punch, and then actually they might even get this kill here.
Oh,
they do have chains coming out.
Oh,
and he gives the kill to Latona.
Terrific moves by the Lee Sin there. Very clean.
That was so that's 2 flashes down so far. Did we? I don't think Julian used his flash in that fight. Oh, actually he did. So that's 3 flashes down altogether. And a double kill, early double kill to the side of good old Syndicate. Uh-oh. 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 Hey, Cam, I despise you on so many levels.
He just sent me that. Was it a series of 3 or 4 pictures?
Of Thanos in all his glory?
Yes, it was. Did you get that too, man?
You son of a bitch! And here you see it here, guys. Our production is harassing the casters like none other at the moment. Let's just say,
Matt, you won't. You won't show it on stream.
You won't do it. I mean, yeah, that would get us kicked off of here if they actually showed that on stream.
You won't. That was something else.
I thought that was something. I lost either way.
Ooh.
That's what happened right there.
Who makes stuff like that is what I want to know. Like, who sits home at their house and makes that?
Ooh, we do see Latona. He's walking in.
Oh,
Lee Sin on the backside again. They're getting some punches.
And
Latona getting another kill onto Filbert.
Toast is just camping this mid lane. We're going to game 5. Oh god.
Oh yeah, dude, and this bot lane as well. They're just getting some great damage onto good old Leaf Elites, which makes sense. They have a way stronger early bot lane between the Caitlyn and Brum. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Latona! Live Latona!
Oh, the last tick of Ignite does not.
No, it does not.
Zedok comes out, and the last tick does not get the low block.
And we do see
Syndicate does pick up the Drake. Flan fail flashes, does not get out of the pit. You hate to see it.
feels Flan, man. Feels Flan. He came in to help, and then his team's like, actually, we're out. And he's like, oh. So that kill went over to... Ooh, that went to Sejuani, though, unfortunately. You would have liked to seen that, especially on the Elspeth. Elspeth. We'll do
So
that.
we're up to a very early 7-minute 1K goal lead over to Syndicate. Obviously, they've got picked up the early Infernal. They got a couple really good mid ganks off. Filbert is playing a little far up on Orianna. Hasn't had flash, and Lee Sin and LeBlanc have punished him for it. Zed tries to roam down, get a kill on the LeBlanc. Does not quite get it. So Syndicate
And on top,
looking in control so far.
yeah, on top of that, you did see that Chinaman made his way. He made his way down to the mid there and he's running Ignite, and so he ran all the way down to mid to try to get that kill onto Latona. They did not end up getting that kill, so not great movement by him. Well, if they got the kill, yes, but he just didn't get anything out of it, unfortunately. So you just leave Azir in the lane to free farm at that time. A little bit of invasion into the bot side jungle of Syndicate. Sneaky boats. Oh, but they know they're there from that ward in the river. And we do have Toast killing the Scuttle Crab, because what did the Scuttle Crab ever do to you? Nothing. Ooh! We do have him top lane now. Might be going for the kill onto good. That's a good old. That is what you call the Zed. Oh shit! I gotta leave. Oh, but does that mean that he? Oh!
Buttertoast takes him down.
But we might see the kill bet going back over. Oh, Julian gets the kill.
Sejuani does end up killing Lee Sin, finally stopping him.
Stopping that dastardly man in his tracks, which actually puts them even for kills and a little bit of a CS lead to Julian. Oh, he could actually go for the dive here and get the kill. Oh, no. Yeah, there. There we go. That's some glorious commentating by my side right there. Just trading a flash for a flash. That's what you want to see from Imperishable. It still makes it out alive. Though, go home, Imperishable! Oh, no! Oh, Filbert, no!
He obviously does not have his flash. Gets hit by the Braum Q. Gets hit by the Braum R. Lulu there to save the day, but he goes down anyways. This Kog'Maw's here putting out TES, but he's ended up taken down, and you've got to imagine this Lulu's going to go down as well. It just absolutely in control. Filbert is not looking too hot. I mean, he's up on CS. LeBlanc only got 59 CS, but I mean, she's 4-0-2. She's got a big bounty on her head. She's got Luden's Echo. Like,
oh my god,
this LeBlanc is going to be in one-shot territory.
Yeah, it's I hate to see it happen. They're doing a good trade though, going for that Rift at the very least, picking that guy up, making sure he's off the table for now. Whoop. Yeah. I'll stick those on too. Sneaky little butter. Oh, buttered toast. You are. Fly, you fool. Fly.
He's been so far ahead and he's so slippery. He can just go in and take whatever he wants, and if they try to collapse, he just slips right on out.
And the rest of Syndicate's kind of following up as well, just getting some more wards into that side. And Dragon is going to be up in 36 seconds here, so they're starting to just, looks like, set up for that bad boy. Oh! Perishable! Look out! And this is the thing you also want to see, is you want to see the other side, like the bottom side, mid and bot for Syndicate are doing great, which is going to give Azir time to farm up, because he's someone who really needs some items to really start going. You need that Nashor's Tooth. You need... He's probably going to, I don't know, finish that all the way up into an hourglass, but you probably will, because there's a bloody Zed on the enemy team. And you need all those other goodies. A lot of tasty, little bit of ward coverage too from the side of Syndicate, making sure they see where everybody's at. They have control.
Doing the Fnatic death brush here.
Yes.
I don't know if they're gonna show up.
Oh!
No,
there wasn't anyone to follow up. No, they went after other people. Oh, feels Vlad, man. Oh, that was a kill on Filbert. Filbert,
Yeah.
you lucky man, you. So
See,
that
is a fantastic kick onto Filbert, followed up by the Brahma, but he was able to just kind of walk away. And
oh, yes, that is what you want. Oh,
the Lee Sin smite comes out early.
No.
The Lee Sin had to smite for health at 1,000 HP, and the Sejuani just steals it. Oh, and a huge Azir.
Ooh.
The shuffle by Azir lets the LeBlanc pick 3 up in that fight. So Sejuani picks up the Drake, but they get punished for it heavily and lose 3. While Zed is in the top lane, pounding on the top turret. They're going to push as 3 mid on this mid turret. That was huge. I mean, that was a gigantic ult from the Azir. Huge shuffle that allowed the LeBlanc to pick up 3, and all of a sudden she's 7-0-3.
Oh, that does look like first turret's going to the side of Leaf Elites right here.
Yeah, she's got a 700 gold bounty, and she's got 7k gold.
And did he threw Ignite onto Braum right there as well, so that's his Ignite down at this point. And that's the thing, I don't know if he should... See, it kind of seems backwards a little bit. You have Filbert with the teleport and China with the Ignite, and it's like... Oh!
Well, that makes sense. You know, Zed wants to get those kills early for the snowball, and a lot of Oriana's bid go teleport, including myself.
That's true. Unfortunately, it's not really been working out that way for him at this point. Oh no.
Oh, and you got to think if, you know, those abilities land for LeBlanc, that's a dead cog. I mean, she is gigantic right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, like cogs, you know, even through, at this point, a 7-0-3 LeBlanc, like, doesn't care about the Lulu or the Sejuani.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oriana shield for Kog'Maw. Like, the LeBlanc is just going to absolutely burst the Kog'Maw through all of that at this point.
She's going to destroy everything. Oh my god, though. So a very nice little bit of peel. Oh, they still get the... Oh my god. The old ult's coming out left and right, trying to keep Sejuani alive right there.
Yeah, they burned quite a bit to keep that Sedge alive.
I mean, yeah, even right now, the Sejuani can't even contend with LeBlanc. LeBlanc just eats through her.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, can they get that last tick? Can they get the tick and the stun and the dead? Oh, and that is a dead
just
spy as well.
Oh.
Ah!
And the Lee Sin goes in for the insect under turret. He does down from turret to survive, but Kog'Maw's passive will end up taking him down. But a beautiful insect coming out of the Lee Sin here for Young Butter Toast, and he's just been all over the place this game.
Why did we not see Latona on the Blanc and Toast on Lee Sin the other game? Oh, we did a beautiful little shuffle going on right there. Everybody stands behind Braum and survives. Yes. Very nice work. Good work from Syndicate. Is that true? Is production's telling us if they end up winning, this is going to be. It appears if you're on blue side, you win games in this series. Well, you heard it first. Apparently, colorblind mode is the way to go. Meanwhile, topside, a little bit of a gank going on to my man, though he's kind of dashing around, swerving, trying to make his way out. Ulting, trying to get away. Oh, nice little play there, though. Yeah. He's a goner.
There's 4 up here. He's not going to make it out of that. Had some fancy moves, but the LeBlanc picks up yet another kill, and she's at 9-5. She's got Ludens and double pin items at this point. She's got Sword Shoot, double pin orb, and she's just going to 100-0 everybody she landed the full combo on.
She is. Oh, that Kagba, he's doing some damage right now. Oh my god. Tasty little shutdown for him onto good old Imperishable. Though,
oh my god, look at that. Like, she only hit the QE combo and he's at half health. It didn't, the second part of the E didn't even go off. Like, she doesn't even need W. If she just gets near him, QEs combos, and the second part of the E goes off, that's a dead Kog'Maw.
Yeah, literally, he has to play, at this point, he has to play a lane and a half back from wherever she is at if he wants to live.
Oh yeah, because she could just W and then ult and be there a whole screen away on top of it.
They throw down the Rift there to just get that turret and go to Dragon right from there.
This is probably going to be burned before it's contested. I don't think Leaf Leeds is too interested in contesting second Drake. They just want to open up the map by getting this tier 1 mid, which they will. And they're all going to rotate topside.
Rotate top, start clearing out some vision. There is that. I assume just clear out that vision so that they're able for when Baron comes up, so it's not there. Makes sense. That's a cool recall animation on that Lee Sin skin. That's dope. Meanwhile, mid lane, they were trying to set stuff up, but I think Filbert sensed something in the force right there. He's like, nope, I'm leaving. I'm leaving this situation. This is not happening. Little bit of a reset going on here with everybody. They're just hanging out, getting some farm. Not, I think, well, at this point, I don't even know. I mean, if you give a little more, oh my god, we do. You just gotta expect the unexpected coming out from Latona there. He's just gonna do anything because he can at this point, and there's nobody that's gonna be able to stop him. If the if Spy's able to hit that polymorph, then maybe they can get the kill, but we'll see. It's gonna just require that they get the damages, which Kog'Maw's starting to do. That man starting to pick up a little damage, though I think that's the thing, is yeah, he's starting to ramp up, but then Azir's gonna start ramping up as well. Zed's kind of been a non-factor this game so far, and I don't think he'll be a factor going farther into the game here.
Yeah. Feels really bad on an assassin being that far behind. Especially against, an Azir who you're expected to kind of bully him in that lane, and he sent on 2 items and obviously outscales you tremendously.
Yep, that's the thing. As I was saying earlier, it's literally the lanes you wanted to do well early, did well early for Syndicate, so that Azir can just start doing his scaling.
Here's the thing,
not have to worry about anything.
Here's the issue right now is, like, obviously, this LeBlanc's insanely far ahead, and Zed's going to use some of his fancy tricks to get out of that, but right now, the Zed's obviously super far ahead, but the gold lead is only 500. Like, Syndicate's only up 500 gold. Like, the Orianna has been farming well and obviously doesn't have near the gold that LeBlanc does, but, this isn't a gigantic lead by any means. Leaf Leeds has managed to knock down 3 tier 1 turrets, and they've got a Drake on their side, whereas, Syndicate's only knocked down 1 tier 1 turret. But, their top laner is, obviously Azir is a hard scaler, and he's at a pretty good spot. But Kog'Maw is a hyper scaler too, but he's also got a lot more protection than the Lulu and Sejuani as far as peel, and even with the Orianna shield can help peel his Kog'Maw. And he's sitting on 2 items now. Like he's got a Wits End, gives him magic resist for this. LeBlanc, obviously she has double pin, so that's really just kind of offsetting that. But I mean, he's got Bork and Wits End, which are both obviously really good items for him. And if this game goes on long enough, like this Kog'Maw can absolutely hard carry this game. Like eventually, it's going to get to the point to where it doesn't matter that LeBlanc was 9-0 because she's just not going to be able to one-shot anymore. Like that's eventually going to be a thing. Okay, and we've got the Orianna does have to call in back up from the Sejuani, but they do take down the Azir, which is huge. I mean, it gives Orianna some gold to get back in the game, and that opens up Baron for them to start. Ellie's going to start Baron, then
But yeah, they have free reign over right now.
Yeah, like they're probably going to get this burnt before the Lee Sin can even show up. So this is the ticket,
especially with the Zed chasing him too.
Lee Sin is here. Oh, and he decides to go for the Orianna instead of getting into the pit, and the Orianna flashes, and he ends up dying. The Orianna survives, and that leaves all 5 members of LE to have the Baron buff. Syndicate is pushing bot. They do take a tier 2 and a tier 1 during that time, but LE has Baron for all 5 of their members.
They do, and we do have Dragon coming up here in 26 seconds as well.
I'd imagine LE's going to fight for this. This would put Syndicate at 3 Drakes, so they would be 1 off of Soul. But they also, you really don't want to waste your Baron buff, so they may, let's see if they decide to full-on contest this here or what they end up doing. But yeah, like I said, this Kog'Maw's going to get to the stage where he's just going to wreck team fights, and, if the game does go on long enough, like you said, the LeBlanc can try to dive onto the Kog'Maw, but Lulu presses, W, and she just gets insta-blown up, and then Kog'Maw basically has free reign to DPS down the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to is Latona able to take the lead, this huge lead he's been given, and be able to carry the rest of the game with it?
Alright, so all 10 members of both teams are here at the Dragon. There is definitely going to be a Dragon fight. Ellie's trying to pull it out of the pit. They do have control over the pit right now.
And they can just burn this. Kog'Maw's going to burn this like none other. That's what you like to see, though unfortunately that is going to be...
Okay, so Ellie does pick it up. The LeBlanc does go down to the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw took Lulu ult, and he is just wrecking this team. He picks up the double kill. LE only loses Orianna, but they take 3 down. And they're still chasing down the Azir in their jungle. But yeah, Lethal Elite gets the Dragon, and they win the team fight. Like, they just weren't able to kill the Kog'Maw quick enough. And even at 2 items, he's, just absolutely destroying these team fights. They do end up going 4-for-1 in an extended fight where they chase down Azir. Zed's pushing bot lane right now, taking tier 2. The Kog'Maw and rest of the squad are pushing tier 2 in the mid lane. And yeah, once the LeBlanc gets taken out, which, they peeled the Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw was able to kill the LeBlanc. Kog'Maw gets that gigantic bounty from the LeBlanc. Kog'Maw does overstay, though, gets bursted down by LeBlanc, and needs a Caitlyn ult to finish him off. But that obviously sucks, because Kog'Maw did have a bounty there, and Caitlyn picks it up. But, Kog'Maw just picked up, I think it was like 700 or 800 gold bounty off that LeBlanc kill. That's gigantic. I mean, he goes back, he picks up a BF sword and a stopwatch, which is huge for his survivability as well. And this Kog'Maw's going to turn into a monster. I mean, Azir is well on his way to becoming that too, but, I'd rather have the Kog'Maw on my side with the Lulu, Sejuani, and Orianna to peel than, the Azir who has Braum. Really?
At this point, that's what it's looking like. That fight, they were coming at it from all different kinds of angles, and it was just the Latona. He really dived hard in there. Like, yeah, he almost had the kill, but he almost isn't good enough at that point. He just got bursted down after that. He got exhausted and just CC'd to high heaven, so he wasn't able to do anything more from there. And the rest of his team was basically not really able to collapse that hard at that point, which was a bummer.
So yeah,
And
as
it
long as
turned-
they can keep this cog alive, like he's gonna roll through these team fights, man.
Yeah, they're really able to start rolling through here. Kog'Maw's huge at this point.
Yeah. Sejuani needs to get one more level up or buy one more health item for the. She does have a Warmogs, but the passive doesn't kick in until.
Oh, Butter, you're in a scary spot. Oh no, Butter! Butter!
Oh, and Orianna hits a 2-man shockwave. Does end up getting out alive. Oh,
Caitlyn,
Kog'Maw.
she gets the kill.
Yep. That looked really good for Ellie for a second.
Ah!
That's going to be a double kill picked up by the Zed. 2 low health members end up getting caught out.
Oh, you
Zed picks
cheeky
those up.
little griff, you. Yeah, that was almost great right there for Syndicate, but unfortunately you were able to have Zed come in from the side there, pick up those 2 kills, because they almost got out with just the death of Elpseth, which is what you want in this situation.
The good thing about in this situation here is they do have the wave clear, and between Caitlyn, her Q, and then Azir's insane wave clear, they can kind of hold off that siege there, so not much going to be taken from the side of LE. But yeah, I mean, at first it looked like LE, got that nutty 2-man Orianna shockwave, and then she used her Zanya's, and then it looked like Syndicate had the upper hand, and they just, at least in the LeBlanc, were super low health and trying to back in a 4 spot, and Zed just vroom goes bladed in and picked up the double kill.
Zed drive by and like none other.
Zed said, "Let me drive the boat."
I swear I won't crash it this time, I promise. Please. And they're like, alright, this one time, Zed, you can do it. He's like, yes. Imperishable. Diving in with some, trying to show him a little bit of Shurima. Ooh. Oh dear, hey, Flan? That's a Zed. Flan?
And Caitlyn's just going to get bursted. Like, yeah, he's behind.
Oh, beautiful Sejuani ult.
Engaged by the Sejuani. The Shurima Shuffle only hits the Orianna. She gets ulted by the Lulu, and Azir has to flash over the wall. Oh, the Azir gets caught by the Sejuani dash, but LeBlanc hops in and bursts down the Orianna. Meanwhile, Zed is taking an inhibitor bot lane, and they are going to start up the Baron. Looks like Lee Sin is waiting in the wing, though.
And this time he might have a little bit of a chance. See what happens here. Last time he had to compete with both the Orianna and the Zed trying to make it so he couldn't get in there. We'll see. Can he time this? Can he get it? Oh my god! Baron steal, that
is stolen by Toast, which is crazy. He got into the pit way too early, and instead of turning and bursting him down, like
he did, and I think they both smited early too on that one, is what it looked like.
I don't know why they just didn't. The miscommunication there. They got to peel off the Baron immediately. It just burst him down. There's no reason that should have happened because he got into the pit way too early.
There's going to be a third dragon going to Leaf Elites, though, at this point. So they're getting a bit more tankier going on, though. That Baron buff going over to Syndicate, honestly, that keeps them in the game right now. If they had gotten that Baron buff to Leaf Elites, then that probably would have cinched it right there, I think. At this point in the game, there's spooky people. We're still... LeBlanc can still poop on some people at this point, and Azir, he's got his Lloyd's, Echo now.
Here's the thing, like LeBlanc can't really burst. Oh, and Zed's going in on LeBlanc. I don't think the ult will pop. It's not going to be quite enough.
24 karat gold, baby.
Here's the thing. All right, LeBlanc super fed. She's got 3 items, 3.5, whatever. Okay, she goes on Oriana, Zania's. At this point, she can't burst down the Sejuani, obviously. Stone played in Warmogs. Zed, if she goes on Zed, he ults and like dodges, 90% of her first rotation. So that's not really viable. So really, it just leaves Kog'Maw, who does have AP, or I'm sorry, MR. Oh, the LeBlanc goes in and gets polymorphed, and she just instantly dies. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the second LeBlanc W'd in, she got polymorphed and just instantly burst down. Oh, and Zed goes and gets the kill on Lee Sin. They pick up too early, and it's a 5v3, and they're in the base. They are sieging against Baron minions, but the two, big carries, like Azira's still alive, but and they engage. Big Shurima shuffle, but Zed does kill.
Zed does get the kill on, though unfortunately, you still trade basically the rest of the team for that.
Caitlyn got a triple kill. It is a 5 for 2 or 5 for 3. There's only 2 left alive, so they can't end. But luckily, they got the Kog'Maw. If they didn't kill the Kog'Maw, they would have at least got one of those next turrets before, the LeBlanc survived. But that was an insane extended team fight. Caitlyn really saved the game there. She ended up picking up that triple kill, and without that, I really think they just ended the game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they could have just pushed it easily enough.
LE is up to, and you got to give it to Latona. He hard stomped this early game. I mean, he was up massively. He's still up massively, but I mean, LE's sitting at 3 Drakes. They got 2 Mountain Drakes. They're sitting at 4, almost 5K gold lead. This Kog'Maw is just as big as LeBlanc now. Even actually, he's got to have more gold. Yeah, Kog'Maw's sitting at 14K gold. LeBlanc's sitting at almost 12.5. Like, Kog'Maw has the most gold in the game. Well, Zed is sitting up there too. Like, Zed started off what, like 0-3 or some shit, 1-3.
Yeah, about that.
And he is 6-3-7. Zed has the most gold in the game. He has a couple hundred more than Kog'Maw. I mean, Zed can one-shot anybody on their team. Basically, they don't really have too much peel that can stop a Zed. And Kog'Maw is gigantic. Like as good as Syndicate was early, just wasn't enough. Like, Zed was down so far, and he's ended up coming back to be a monster. Like, this Kog'Maw has so much peel, and he's putting out so much DPS now. I feel like, yeah, it's only a 4K gold lead, but I mean, it's really deceiving because so much gold is in Zed. And and the Azir gets hit by the Sejuani R. He does get the shuffle off, but he has very low health. Those big Caitlyn crits are coming out on Sejuani.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't see, but off on the side there, actually, Zed went on to Latona and completely zoned him off of any kind of team fighting there.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie's in such a good spot, and they have so much, Art Sensor, and even Locket was picked up, so that's even more, protection for this Cog. Like, Cog is in such a good position to just hard carry these team fights. And you have an insanely fed Zed who has more gold than the Cog, most gold in the game, flanking and can one-shot, this Caitlyn or this LeBlanc. Like, if LeBlanc goes in and gets polymorph, she insta-dies. Zed can take care of, an Azir or a Caitlyn with one combo. Like, I don't... Nope. And the Azir gets ulted by the Zed. He does manage to stopwatch and get out, but he's out of the fight. Like, Azir or Zed is either going to one-shot you or put you out of the fight every fight. And these team fights are going to be so hard for Syndicate to traverse just with the way that LE is set up right now. And this is for Soul. LE does have position again. And now it's going to be up to Lee Sin to try to have a Miracle Steer to stop. Because, I mean, Mountain Soul, you got to think, just pretty much ends the game. Like,
he does. Oh, and he gets the steal again!
Incredible. Lee Sin gets the steal again.
Toast trying so hard right now, man. He's trying so hard
to keep his team in the game. He's stolen a Baron. He's stolen
yeah, Baron's up in 2. Oh no, and he's not up to do it again.
You gotta think, Mountain Soul just gives Cog so much more protection. It gives, Sejuani so much more tankiness. Like, Lee Sin died for it. He saved the Soul, but Ellie's gonna get their Baron, and you gotta think they're gonna look for the game-winning push with this Baron.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They look to end right here with Baron because they.
Toast is just playing incredible in this Lee Sin. Like, he got so much done early game. He got Latona to his insane, getting fed. He's stealing these strikes. Like I don't know. He's just, he's 3-9-8. It doesn't look like, he's having as big of an impact as he is, but he absolutely is just really keeping Syndicate in this game. Like, he was everywhere early game. He got Latona far ahead, put Filbert so far behind. He's been stealing these Drakes and these Barons, and man. But you got to think, like, if I'm LE here, I just want to take Baron, group 5 as mid, bait 4-1 was Zed up top, so maybe he can get a flank, and then just team fight in the game. Like, this Cog is so strong right now. Like, he's sitting on 4 items. He's sitting on IE, Borg, Rage Blade, Wits End, and Tier 2 boots. Like, this Cog is so strong right now.
He is disgusting,
and
yeah.
Look at Lula. She's got Crucible. She can, it's like point and click for QSS. Like, she can get Kog'Maw un-CC. She's got Locket for the entire team, Kog'Maw. Ardent for Kog'Maw. Like, Oriana can put shield on Kog'Maw. Sejuani's got plenty of CC and peel for Kog'Maw. Like, Kog'Maw is in such a good spot. Like I said, Zed can one-shot any of them. Like, they're in such a good spot to team fight right now. You go for it right here. Oh, Sejuani R comes out.
That's what they do.
And that's going to be dead LeBlanc? No, LeBlanc managed to get out of that. But Kog'Maw is just destroying this fight right now. And they're just going down one by one. Only the LeBlancs left alive. All 5 are left alive for LE, and that's going to be the game. That's going to be the season for Syndicate. Kog'Maw picks up the triple kill, and Leaf Elites wins the Olympian League Finals 3-1. The 4 seed comes in and wins the Plat League Finals. GG to Syndicate, GG to Leaf Elites, but that is going to be the series, and that is going to be the season. The 4th seed coming in and winning it all, only giving up 1 game. The Syndicate, the powerhouse of the season, the juggernaut of the season. What an incredible performance by this Leaf Elites team. What an incredible playoff run that they had.
Exactly. They really showed coming into especially this series and even last week against Bako Nichan that they are a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. I mean, they just came in and, they lost 1 game to Syndicate. Last game they won by a healthy 15K. This game they won by, at 8K, and they've had control most of the game. Like, this Kog'Maw just ended up, like I was saying, most of the game, like, he ended up scaling so hard, and with, Lulu having Ardent for him makes him so much stronger. Crucibles for him can take any CC off, lock it to give him and the rest of the team shield. She's polymorphing this, LeBlanc to avoid him getting one shot, and they just had absolutely no way to kill the Kog'Maw. They had no answer for it, and then, with the Zed being so far behind, and he ended up, picking up several big bounties that actually he had more gold than the Kog'Maw. Like, he was, had the most gold in the game and was able to one-shot just whoever he wanted. And both of those on top of each other, like, just absolutely steamrolled. What an incredible season. But congratulations to Leaf Elites. So before we go, for the series, who are you giving MVP to? I'll tell you right now, I'm giving it to Julian. Like, obviously, Filbert popped off in several of the games, but, had a pretty rough one here, but Julian was consistent. I mean, earlier he had a Graves game where he popped off pretty hard. Like, he's just was consistent this entire series. He was everywhere. Like, this game, the Lee Sin was kind of everywhere early and making plays, but he was able to kind of rein that in and, just played super consistent and, was where he needed to be, was, at the objectives, was peeling off his carries. He went 2-3-20 this game. I'm giving Julian the MVP, personally.
I'm gonna go with you on this one then, because that's the thing I always like to see is just a level of consistency throughout an entire series, and that's very true. Julian was extremely consistent throughout. He was very good backbone for the team, you would say.
Absolutely. But, you know, it was an incredible season. I was happy to cast and be a part of it. You know, David, I'm sure, you know, you being the, whatever your official title is for Plat League.
Some kind of title.
Yeah, you had a
Titles
title,
are
but-
fluid these days.
Right. But it's been a fantastic season. I'm glad I got to be here and cast almost every game. Again, GG Syndicate, congratulations to Leaf Elites, your 2020 Spring Invitational Finals winners, the champions of Plat League. But from here at TES, it's going to do it for us tonight. You all have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for the Gold League Finals. Be there, be square. Good night, everybody.